commercial and go. It's Bo time.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She was the deciding vote for his disastrous economic agenda. Kamala and Joe raised taxes on the middle class, and prices soared. Kamala was in charge of his open border policies, giving welfare to illegals while Americans struggle, and their weakness invited wars. Now Kamala wants to double down on failure. It's time to turn the page on Joe and Kamala's failed agenda. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower and the border secure. Now, President Trump can do it again.
And we are going to launch a new golden age of American success for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Remember, Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald Trump, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Donald J. Trump for President 2024 Inc.
Whether it's the future of college football or my love for the Ryder Cup, it's all found in the Best of the Adam Gold Show podcast, brought to you by Coach Pete at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Visit us at capitalfinancialusa.com.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards, Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It is a very warm Halloween afternoon for us. Temperatures around 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Trick-or-treat dump temperatures feel great. We'll be dropping on through the 70s with mostly clear skies. 62 overnight tonight for the low, and then climbing to 82 tomorrow under partly cloudy skies. Happy Halloween.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 205 points to 41,936. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Right for O'Connell. Dumps it right post. Huntley Hatfield immediate double. Kick up top. O'Connell steps. Open triple. Triggers and hits. Free throw line. Dishes left corner pass. Catch. Fire. Three. Got it on a rattle. Flashes down. No good to McNeil. Accelerator down through traffic. McNeil rises up. Scoops and scores. Coast to coast with the board and the full court baseball pass to DeBerg. Has it swatted away by McNeil. Left corner. Retort pass. Euro step. Bucket. Righty. Finger roll is in for pass. Down the right lane line. 4 minutes to play. Pack leads by 2.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Halloween, everybody.
We made it.
October 31st. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. It is Halloween. We have some awesome graphics on our studio video boards here. So if you're watching on our YouTube live stream, you understand what I'm talking about. Shout out to Video Joe.
Yeah, he did an awesome job.
Here at our behind-the-scenes crew for getting these up and running. They're pretty sweet. NC State got a bit of a scare last night.
Yeah.
Little mischief night scare for the Wolfpack night before Halloween. They beat Lee's McRae, which is a Division II school in Banner Elk, North Carolina, around that area, by 4 points last night in an exhibition basketball game. NC State, I'm going to say it again just so we're all on the same page. NC State, team that made it to the Final Four last year, the defending ACC men's basketball champions, beat Lee's McRae by 4 points last night in an exhibition basketball game. Now, that's a scare. I mean, it was tied with 3 minutes to go. It was a one-possession game in the final minute. It's a scare. Losing that game is something that everybody remembers, something that really opens up eyeballs. Before we dive into the scare, the yikes of it all, the comments from Kevin Keats after the game, that surprised me. Before we dive into that, let's give the other side to be completely fair. There is a big difference between losing this game and nearly losing this game. Okay? I mean, people, I was tweeting about it a little bit last night. People are reaching out. This reminds me of Syracuse when they lost to a Division II team back in 2000 whatever. And well, there's a difference there. Syracuse lost. NC State nearly lost. There's a difference. So it wasn't full catastrophe. Injuries to the roster hurt the Wolfpack. So much so that Kevin Keats said he was playing combinations of players on the court that he hadn't used much or if at all this preseason.
Just kind of rolled 11 guys.
So that's going to be tough. Right? Mike James out. It's going to be out for a little bit. One of their incoming transfers from Louisville. Kevin Keats didn't use timeouts to stop the bleeding. Right? I'm giving the optimistic side here. If this were a regular season game, my guess is multiple times would have called the timeout, asked for a full, and used the entire full timeout to, let's say, motivate his players into playing better. But because it's an exhibition game, let's see what they do. Let's see if the pitcher can pitch his way out of it, right, without a pitcher's mound visit. Let's see. Let's let him play through. And then the last part of that side, the optimistic side for State is it was an exhibition. It's not a real game. Even if you lose, it's not on your record.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Now the side that my brain went to first. We'll call this side yikes. NC State is once again starting all the way back at square one. All the way back. And what I mean by that is last year we saw it. They had to figure out how all these transfers fit and whose role is what and how do you play with DJ Burns, this big guy in the middle, and who's going to be the one taking the clutch shots and how are they going to figure it all out. And it felt like they built a house starting with like one shovel. They had to build their tools first. That's how long this build took, and they got it the last possible second. You would have hoped after that run to the Final Four, you wouldn't be starting back at square one again. But based on that exhibition game, square one, right? There wasn't a ton of carryover, and maybe that makes sense. I brought up Mike James, transfer, who's injured. Brandon Huntley-Hatfield, transfer, 8 points, 4 rebounds, and assists. Dontrez Styles, transfer, 9 points, 9 rebounds, and assist. Paul McNeil, freshman, 6 points, 3 rebounds, assist. Trey Parker, 7 points, 3 rebounds, assist. There were so many new faces out there that even when Michael O'Connell would flash and you go, oh, that guy, I know that guy. He'd dump it off to, I don't know who that guy is. They'd take a shot, rebound by Ben Middlebrooks. Oh, I know that guy. Outlets it to Paul McNeil. Who is that? There was so much new. And when there's so much new, there's a little build-up. There's a little carryover. Kevin Keats, after the scrimmage, spoke to the media, and spin zone is how I describe this next comment. This is Kevin Keats after a 4-point win over a Division II opponent in an exhibition game.
I think we can learn a lot from our secret scrimmage. We can also learn a lot from our last 20 minutes. Okay, I thought we did a really good job in our first 20 minutes. Second half, I started big guys against small guys, and we came out and we turned the ball over 3 straight times. It's a lot that we can learn from this. It's crazy as this sounds. I would much rather have this game than have a 40-point win because I don't get a chance to see guys be able to react and who's going to make free throws and who's going to be good at the end.
You'd rather have a close win over Lees McRae than a blowout over Lees McRae? By the way, Lees McRae sounds like a country music singer. Just throwing that out there. Lees McRae next up with Dirt Road. I don't know. Cold beer. Blue jeans. Whatever you want to call it. I disagree. I think if a coach wants to have a close game, there are ways they make it obvious. Michael O'Connell doesn't play almost 25 minutes in a game that you want to be close against a Division II opponent. There's ways to make sure you're going to have a close game that they didn't really do them. Right? The Dontrez Styles, the ones that come in with a little bit of hype, a little bit of talent that we're aware of, they don't get the opportunity to almost put up a double-double in a game you want to be close to Lees McRae. You play those guys when you want to blow out Lees McRae, and then if you end up in a close game, what you say in the postgame is, I'd rather have that than a blowout. There's another comment by Kevin Keats after the game that perked my ears a little bit. This is Kevin Keats on this scrimmage, meaning this exhibition, this scrimmage of this year, and the one that took place last year.
I reminded our guys this, and I'll remind you guys of this too. Last year, Mount Olive was 89-79, and we're ACC champs. So I played 11 guys. I didn't call one timeout until the end. I just wanted the guys to play through some different stuff. I could have stopped a couple runs, but I wanted our guys to figure it out, and then we would get better for it.
I agree with most of that. I've already said most of that, right? He didn't use the timeouts. He played unusual combinations. He wanted to see his guys work through it. I agree with that. I don't love, and I might even throw on the hate word, saying last year we also struggled in our exhibition game, or we didn't blow them out in our exhibition game against Mount Olive. Last year, what NC State did cannot be the blueprint. It's not repeatable. It's a once-in-a-generation style run. Don't expect the things that broke a certain way last year to break that way again this year. Last year, we struggled in our exhibition. Well, you struggled for a decent part of your regular season, too, and then you had this magical run. The magical run isn't something that you now go like, all right, I know how our seasons are going to go now. We're going to struggle through our exhibition game. We're going to be up and down, up and down, up and down during the regular season. And then, just like last year, we're going to go on a magical run. It's no. That would be as if the Washington Commanders from now on are just going, you know what we should do? We should be behind with 5 seconds on the clock and have Jaden Daniels scramble around for 12 seconds and chuck it up, and someone from the other team will tip it, and then Noah Brown will catch it in the back of the end zone and will win, because I remind you that that's what happened last week. Every time they're down in the fourth quarter, well, this is what we kind of want to have happen.
Got them right where we want them.
This is where the Hail Mary comes, ready, and Hail Mary time. That's kind of what NC State's season was last year. It was just stay alive long enough to complete the Hail Mary over the last month. You don't want to plan for that. You don't want to look around and go, same thing as last year. Well, that was bad. It was bad last year up until the run, up until the Hail Mary. You were 11th in the ACC going into the tournament. That's not acceptable unless you pull off the Hail Mary, and that's not going to happen again. So you got to be better than you were up until the run started. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll take a break. When it comes back, Bryce Young starting this week. Bryce Young, quarterback, Carolina Panthers against the Saints, leads us to our next question. Bryce, you're starting. Now what? Stick around.
We're kicking it this fall with college football. Join 99.9 The Fan all season long and catch your favorite teams in action. The ACC, the SEC, and every conference that matters. You'll find the best matchups here.
The Blue Devils up 21-20, and they got their arms reaching for that bell.
College football on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Med, Sammy's Tap and Grill, and Roofworks.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $200 in bonus bets when they bet $5. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
What if you could be debt-free by this January? Get rid of all that high-interest debt, pay off all your credit cards, consolidate everything into one lower payment? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. If you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto's got rates with APRs in the low fives, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this save on average $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis or their express equity line of credit. So call now. Get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today and you won't make a house payment till 2025. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. Free rate quote now, 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Halloween, everybody. Bryce Young is starting this weekend for the Carolina Panthers.
That's scary to some.
There's also a saying that applies to young quarterbacks when maybe they lose their confidence a little bit or they're a little rattled and they're playing in the NFL, and that's called seeing ghosts. Bryce Young has to do everything he possibly can to not see ghosts this weekend against the Saints. It's at home, by the way, so at least it won't be, New Orleans and the voodoo and everything. There's a lot of haunted stuff going on down there in New Orleans, if you believe in that sort of thing. Charlotte doesn't have quite that history, so it's at least a home game. But here's what I want with Bryce, right? Because the question is, great, you're starting, you got another shot. Now what? Now what? What are you going to do with it? How are you going to be better? How are you going to prove that you should be the starter moving forward? How are you going to prove that Andy Dalton should be on the bench? Which, by the way, Andy Dalton told the media today he thought he could start.
Yeah, he did say that. I know Canales said yesterday, he's like, you know what, I'm taking it out of his hands. He knows Andy's going to say that, but still dealing with the thumb. He's like, you know what, taking it out of Andy's hands.
Which I get. I mean, I understand why everyone said what they said, but as Andy's saying, I mean, Andy's, hey, I'm 37. I don't want to waste an opportunity. I just want to let everybody know. But Bryce, now what, right? You got a 37-year-old veteran that wants to play. Why you over him? And I think we should be concrete with it. I think we should set expectations with it. And I don't think we should be overcomplicating with it. I want deep passes. Because I was trying to think of this. The most important thing I want to see from Bryce, if we're talking the theoretical or the intangible, is I want to see confidence. I want to see confidence. Now, how do you see confidence in a football player? There's the things that you can try to read body language. You can try to, he's showing emotion or something, right? You can try to guess, but I'm thinking of something more tangible than that, and I don't know if there's a way that you can better personify confidence than a quarterback that is willing to make the throw on a deep ball. Right? The least confident quarterback in the world can throw it to an open check down in the flat because you feel like you can see everything. The deep ball is when you're worried about safeties. You're worried about, am I seeing it right? You're worried about getting hit because you have to take a little bit longer before you can let it go. You have to know what you're seeing. The ability and the willingness to cut loose deep passes downfield is what I want to see from Bryce Young. Bryce Young told the media he's feeling more comfortable after watching the Denver tape. We have that audio for you. The way he proves what you're about to hear is by cutting it loose on deep passes. Here's Bryce.
I thought it was a good plan. Again, things to clean up, stuff to execute better, but some things that again I think to build off of. So just wanted to look at it objectively. For me out there, it was just it was great being out there. It was obviously fun just being in that role again. Really just tried to separate the emotion from it, and then see what was good we can build off of and see what I can learn from.
You want to prove you're more comfortable? Cut it loose. Now I don't just bring ideas. I did do some research for you. It's what I do most mornings. Bryce Young, on his pass attempts this year, just 5.8% have traveled at least 20 yards in the air. Just 5. By the way, 20. That's not crow hopping into a fade ball, right? That's not throwing it as far as you can. That's not the Josh Allen on the run throwing it 45 yards on a rope. 20 yards is just something beyond like an in or an out breaking route, right? It's the you can get there more easily than you think. Only 5.8% of his passes this year have traveled 20 plus yards in the air. Bruh. I did some research. I didn't just stop there because 5.8, you might go, is that a lot? I don't know. So I went and found 6 other quarterbacks that have not started every game for their team, right? So, obviously, I'll use the same example. Josh Allen has more, but guess what? Josh Allen's played every game for his team. So Spencer Rattler started a handful of games for the Saints, ironically. 7%, more than Bryce. Derek Carr, that started the rest of them for the Saints, 8%, more than Bryce. Tua for the Dolphins, 8%. Drake May, former UNC quarterback for the Patriots, 8%. Joe Flacco, 9%. Jameis Winston, 11% for the Colts and Browns, respectively. Bryce needs to throw it downfield. And notice what I'm saying here. I'm saying throw it downfield. I'm saying attempts of 20-plus yards. Obviously, I want them to be completions. Like if it's a fantasy land and you just get to pick your outcomes, you're going to pick completions for touchdowns. But even more simply than that, I just want him to have the confidence to throw them. It's about process more than result. You can't run an effective NFL offense with a quarterback that isn't willing to, when the moment arises, throw it deep. Just so safeties and corners know it's on the menu. Defensive coordinators have to know it's on the menu, or else all of a sudden you're going to see everybody within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage. You have to cut it loose. It's about process more than result right now. If he throws the ball deep and there's a chance, right, it's not into like a quadruple coverage. If it's Xavier Legette on a 50-50 ball, if it's Jalen Coker with a step, if it's something schemed open, where he's trying to throw someone open, it's a back shoulder ball. I don't care what it is. As long as it's one that makes sense, I'm praising the heck out of him if I'm that coaching staff. 2nd and 2, he throws it deep, incomplete. 3rd and 2, you try to run it with Chuba Hubbard, you don't get it. You're jogging off after a 3 and out. I am giving him a high five for that 2nd down play, just so he can do it again. Try to complete them next week if that's the case. This week is about throwing them.
Now, you're saying that 5.8%, just to clarify for those maybe wondering out there, this is passes that, again, the ball travels more than 20 yards downfield, yes. Not like a 5-yard, in-breaking route that someone catches and runs for 27.
Correct. Air yards.
Yes, air yards. Just want to make sure people will understand that.
I want him to be as close to a gunslinger as possible. And understanding that just with his inherent personality and nature and risk-averse everything, or conservative, whatever, as you ask him to be as much of a gunslinger as possible. You don't have to worry about him walking out there wearing number 4 and pretending he's Brett Favre. Like, he will still be Bryce Young, but I want him to be the gunslingeriest version of Bryce Young. Dave Canales, the head coach, was asked what he is encouraged by from Bryce looking at the film against the Broncos. This is what he said.
Some of the rhythmic throws, first drive, just kind of finding a good mix and balance of it. For me, again, this is an opportunity to compete, to continue to find the things that he's confident with. He found some nice completions, throughout here and there, and then finished with the really nice drive that I thought was, obviously the game was out of hand, but at the same time, we were competing, to find wins in those moments. And, I just thought that was, good stuff. And then, to have the continuity of one week to the next, getting in and out of the huddle, and to feel that rhythm, that it takes to be successful. So I'm excited for him to get out there and have another opportunity.
Rhythmic throws, mix and balance and continuity. I want explosive. I want a gunslinger. I had this idea. I was telling Dennis off air. Remember when Ben Simmons refused to shoot? Ben Simmons in the NBA, he was a 3-time All-Star, I think like 3-time All-NBA, like a second or third team. He was a young, rising superstar, and for whatever reason, he didn't trust it. He wasn't good at it. It hurt. He just stopped shooting. So much so that in like playoff games, he had layups, and he was, instead of going up for the layup, he would fake it and try to pass it to somebody else. And it started with he wouldn't take any threes, and then it grew from there. And I remember saying this into a microphone somewhere, so there's a receipt of it on a podcast somewhere in the world. If I were Ben Simmons' coach, I would give him a very, very simple and plain, easy to read contract, or I guess it would be like terms and conditions that we all scroll through. I read it. Let's go. And it would just say a few sentences. It would say, any game in which you don't shoot 3 threes. Shoot. I don't care if you make them. I don't care if you airball them. I don't care if they are from the corner, from the top of the key. If you don't shoot 3 threes, I'm going to look into your contract, find any way I can fine you, as much as I can fine you, and you're benched for the next game. And I would feel okay doing that because shooting 3 threes is a choice. You can 100% control that. I would never say if you don't score 10 points or if you don't get 5 assists, because that, you can try your hardest and not get that. You can attempt 3 threes no matter what. So I will fine you $100,000 every time you don't take 3 threes, just so he would get over the hump of not wanting to shoot. I'd do the same thing with Bryce Young. I would say, Bryce, I'd pick a number, 5. I don't know. I'd look at the stats. I'd look at my offense. I'd decide how many I want. And I'd go, if you don't have 5 pass attempts of 20-plus yards downfield, Andy Dalton's starting the next game. And I'd let him know throughout the game, hey, you've thrown 3. Hey, you've thrown 2. Hey, it's the third quarter. You've only got 1. You're going to take some chances. And you may say that's going to lead him into bad decisions. Maybe. But not throwing them leads you into just as many bad decisions. So let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's take the sheen off of this. Let's take it off the pedestal and make it so he's a quarterback that is confident enough to make the right throw, which sometimes means you have to force him to make any throw. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have another question that we've been trying to ask all week. The question is the Cooper Flagg hype too much? ACC basketball starts on Monday, by the way. It's creeping up on us. And Cooper Flagg is going to be one of the storylines across the entire country. Freshman for Duke. Is the hype too big? Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
I asked AI about the Panthers season, and to sum it up in slang, basically it said they're trying to play chess while everyone else is playing checkers. The defense giving up freebies like it's a charity event. Fans low-key bummed just scrolling through highlights of better days. It's a whole vibe of, please make it stop. AI ain't wrong.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over, and if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So, no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM. Or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Time is up. The IRS is in full collection mode for 2024, issuing liens, levies, and garnishments to anyone who has a past tax debt or unfiled tax returns. Don't wait till it's too late. Your paycheck and bank accounts are at risk of being seized. Call now and stop the collection process today. If you're living check to check, no matter how much you're making, you still may qualify for the Fresh Start programs offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. It's just a 5-minute call to get your options, and it's free. If you owe back taxes, have years of unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to sleep better, business or personal, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief while there's still time. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and tough. This veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. The call is free. Call their hotline number now, 800-652-1714. That's 800-652-1714. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-652-1714 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary. Paid for by AMD Financial.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She was the deciding vote for his disastrous economic agenda. Kamala and Joe raised taxes on the middle class, and prices soared. Kamala was in charge of his open border policies, giving welfare to illegals while Americans struggle. And their weakness invited wars. Now Kamala wants to double down on failure. It's time to turn the page on Joe and Kamala's failed agenda. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower and the border secure. Now, President Trump can do it again.
And we are going to launch a new golden age of American success for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Remember, Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald Trump, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Donald J. Trump for President 2024, Inc.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Classic.
Can't go wrong with it.
Happy Halloween out there. We're having some sports conversation on this Halloween. Not dark outside as of yet, so we don't got to be out there chasing the kids around as they go trick-or-treating or anything like that.
Not yet.
But it's coming. Oh, it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen. We can ask questions, though. How about this as a question? Is the Cooper Flagg hype too big? Is it getting too big? Is it already crossed that line? Is it too over the top? Is it possible for him to live up to it? Well, I have some ways to illustrate how high the hype has gotten. He's an AP. We're going to work on this again.
Okay.
He is an AP, which stands for Associated Press. AT would be an athletic trainer, which makes even less sense. Let's start over. The hype for Cooper Flagg goes like this. He is an AP first-team All-American as a true freshman. The other 5 members of that list, fifth-year seniors. ESPN put out a list of top 100 players in college basketball, all across the country, every conference, every state, everywhere. He's number 1. CBS put out a list of top 100 players, all across the country, every state, every conference, everyone. He was number 3. 24/7 Sports, or 247 Sports, however you want to say that, which is a recruiting website. They track football, basketball, recruiting, all sports. It's a big high school thing. It's where you get composite stars. So if somebody's like a 5-star composite, that's 247's the place where you go find that information. He has Cooper Flagg down, or they have Cooper Flagg down, as the number 1 all-time Duke recruit. Higher than Zion, higher than R.J. Barrett, higher than you can go back as far as you want. The Leitners, the Jay Wills, the Kyrie Irvings, all of them. Number 1. I tried to find if they have him as the highest recruit ever. The only thing I could find was a list from a couple years ago that had like the highest recruits of all time, and number 2 was R.J. Barrett. Number 1 was Andrew Wiggins. We know from the Duke list that they put out that Cooper Flagg is above R.J. Barrett. So there's only one possible recruit that could be ranked higher in their composite system, and that's Andrew Wiggins. And he might be above him. We don't know the order. He's 1 or 2 all time, according to 247 Sports. Now, granted, it doesn't go back to like Wilt Chamberlain, so Kareem Abdul-Jabbar may have been a higher ranked recruit, but you get the picture. He has a New Balance deal, shoe deal. New Balance is kind of making him one of the faces of New Balance, along with Kawhi Leonard. He is the first male college basketball player to sign a name, image, and likeness deal with Gatorade. Getting that Gatorade deal used to be a sign you made it. When you had that first commercial where you were sweating out like lime green sweat, that meant you arrived.
Orange just dripping off your chin.
It meant you want to be like Mike. It was a Michael Jordan thing, and it existed.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal.
He's number 1 on every NBA draft big board that I can find. The hype, it's full steam ahead. That's not the question, though. We knew there's hype. The question is it getting too big? And here's why I ask it. Jonathan Givney, ESPN NBA draft guy, ESPN college basketball analyst. I was listening to a podcast, and I wrote down a comment he made. He gave some hype to Cooper, like everybody does. Oh, he's good. He's this. He's that. He's awesome. He's tall. He can shoot. Blah, blah, blah. And then he hit this. This is a direct quote. At the same time, a 17-year-old does not dominate college basketball in this era. He isn't even eligible to vote in next week's presidential elections. You have to go all the way back to 1989 to Shaquille O'Neal to find a 17-year-old who dominated college basketball. End quote. I raised my eyebrows a little bit because Cooper Flagg, he did reclassify up, so he is 17 years old. Matter of fact, his twin brother, Ace Flagg, who's playing in Greensboro this year for his last year of high school, just committed to Maine for next year's college basketball class.
Ironically, Duke opens against Maine.
And they're both from Maine, so
yeah.
I think all of that is not a coincidence. But my point is, like, if he was with his twin brother, he wouldn't even be in college yet. So he is younger. He is 17. So where do you stand? Can a 17-year-old dominate college basketball in this era, which, by the way, you could argue would be more impressive than even Shaq, because Shaq wasn't going up against guys with 5th years of eligibility because of COVID. R.J. Davis in Shaq's era is playing pro somewhere. He's not still in college, as is Hunter Dickinson, as is everyone else named to the AP first-team All-American preseason list with Cooper. It comes down to one thing. Do you believe Cooper is truly an alien? And that's not an insult. Alien is the highest form of flattery. It is my highest compliment that I give to athletes.
Some might use unicorn.
Unicorn, but to me, unicorn is unusual. Like, you can be – unicorn is like you see him once in a lifetime, right? It's you're taller and you can shoot or something. You do something unique. I think Kobe Bryant was an alien. Kobe Bryant didn't do anything like physically that like Michael Jordan couldn't do. It's just he was an alien in different ways. Unicorn to me is more of like a Giannis or a Wembanyama, right? Somebody who's like, I've never seen anything like that. Alien is for me, again, these are my definitions. You can have your own, but alien to me is just the highest level of unbelievable. You can go across sports, right? Adrian Peterson, Calvin Johnson in football, Randy Moss in football, aliens. You look at the NBA, obviously the LeBrons, the Michaels, the Kobes, but I would throw in the like a Tim Duncan as an alien, right? That's what it comes down to. Because aliens, the reason why I think it's the highest form of flattery, the best compliment, you don't compare them to mere mortals. It's you have all of the stats that are, hey, we've judged 1,000 trillion million 17-year-olds in college basketball, and none of them have dominated college basketball the way everyone's saying Cooper Flagg will. And I'm going, well, everyone else in that sample size, aside from maybe Shaq, is not an alien. They're human. So you have to decide whether you have Cooper Flagg as an alien. Think about it like running backs going on right now. If you watched the off-season Hard Knocks with the Giants, there was a conversation with Joe Shane, their GM, where he talked about all of the numbers that back up running backs falling off a production cliff at age 27 or 28. Running backs, and this was obviously with the Saquon decision. Do they bring him back? Do they let him go in free agency? All that. And he had all these numbers, right? All the stats, all the advanced analytics say running backs at 27 or 28, they fall off. How do you explain Derrick Henry? Derrick Henry's got to be in his 30s, right? He's definitely older than 27, 28. He's going to run for 2,000 yards this year. At least he's on pace for it. It's not smart to compare Derrick Henry to, let me pick one, like Dalvin Cook.
Derrick Henry turns 31 in January, by the way.
Turns 31. And he's looking unbelievable. He's got 80-yard runs. He's outrunning people. The GPS numbers say he has some of the fastest times of his career from a miles per hour standpoint this season. You're really going to move on from Derrick Henry because you watched like DeMarco Murray fall off a cliff? They're not even the same species. One's an alien, one's a human. 17-year-olds that are human don't dominate at the highest level of college basketball. Unless you're an alien like Shaq.
By the way, Cooper Flagg turns 18 in December, like early December.
So you'll get a couple months in of this 17-year-old argument.
6 weeks.
And like Carmelo Anthony was 18. Kevin Durant was 18 during their freshman years. Do you really think them showing up 8 months earlier would have been like, never mind, not great? Right? If they would have, if their season started a few months earlier, we wouldn't know who Carmelo Anthony and Syracuse are. No, of course we would.
If LeBron had to go to college, he would have reclassified and went a year early probably and would have dominated at 17.
I would have been there as an 8th grader if they thought it was possible.
Well, yeah.
I think Cooper Flagg is an alien. I don't think the hype's too big. Does that put me on a limb? Does that expose me to a couple like outtakes exposed on Twitter, some cold takes exposed? Maybe. I think he's an alien. And that's and part of it is you have to trust the people that have played with him. Do you know what's a really, really good idea when it comes to believing the hype of a player or not? It's like a number, okay? How many people claim to be the one that discovered him? If there are like 47 different people that are saying, I called up Duke and told them they had to look at Cooper Flagg. Then it's like, this one must be good. They all want that credit. I was listening to a podcast the other day. I don't know if it's true or not, but remember, oh gosh, I'm blanking on Scalabrine. Brian Scalabrine. Some call him the White Mamba. Longtime NBA bench player. Champion with the Celtics, I believe. He was talking to Julian Edelman on a podcast, and he told the whole story of how he was running a camp in New England and team in New England, and somebody, one of his buddies said, we got this 14-year-old that's absolutely whipping up on college kids up in Maine, and he went, no way, bring him down. Brought him down, and Cooper Flagg, first play against these 17s and 18s and 19-year-old guys that Scalabrine was coaching. First play, Cooper Flagg, off the backboard from the right side, catches it with his left hand, dunks it, and the entire team is like, uh-oh. And then guess how the story ends? Scalabrine calling both Duke and USA basketball to say, you got to check out this Cooper Flagg guy, and them saying, yeah, the kid from Maine, maybe one day. Again, I don't know if it's true or not, but it feels like the 13th time, 14th, 15th time I've heard someone say they discovered Cooper Flagg. That's a good sign. I'm with it. I think he's an alien. I don't think the hype is too much. I don't think the hype is too much at all. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Hype about candies is big today. Halloween's going on. There's a lot of lists. Sports radio is big on it. Let's rank. Let's put the Mount Rushmore of Halloween candy. When you were a kid, which one were you most excited to get? We're not going to do that. But we're going to be in that genre.
I mean, because I got answers.
Do you want to go quickly? Top 5, 30 seconds or less?
Reese's Cups, Twix, 100 Grand, Kit Kat. Oh, what's the final one? Starburst.
Oh, mixing a little fruity there.
Yep.
All right. That was just for us. I'm going to test drive a new bit here, a new segment. I'm calling it Players As. So what that means is throughout time, when we have special occasions, holidays, whatever, we can take players and put them as fill in the blank, right? Players as Halloween candy. Players as songs. Players as movie characters. Players as whatever you want to do. Microwavable foods. I don't know. So we're going to start with Halloween candies because it's Halloween. Players as Halloween candies. I have a whole bunch in front of me. Have you done some of these, Dennis? Do you have any?
I have.
Okay, perfect. We'll go back and forth till you run out because I'm sure I have a whole bunch. I'll start with Brett Burns.
Okay, Carolina Hurricanes.
Carolina Hurricanes defenseman. He is, 40 years old? Is he pushing 41 years?
He'll turn 40 this season.
He's candy corn.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing.
I have this theory about candy corn. And I know there are people out there that fervently defend candy corn.
And hate it too.
Yes, both sides. Polarizing candy. I have this theory that all the bowls of candy corn you see that go uneaten, like the candy corn company comes around and grabs it at the end of each Halloween, puts it in bags, and the next year it's the same Halloween candy. Because it does taste inherently old. So with that being the case, Brett Burns every single year, you just kind of grab that Brent Burns, you bring him over to the next year. He's a little bit older, but he's kind of the same thing he was last year, just maybe a hint of old. So Burns, candy corn. What do you got, Dennis?
I was going to say candy corn, the exact same thing.
CJ Bailey.
Oh, okay. NC State quarterback.
NC State freshman quarterback. Nerds Clusters.
Nerds Clusters?
Have you heard any of the hype about Nerds Clusters?
No, I can't say I have.
Oh, I guess it's like there's a bunch of celebrities. I don't know if they're paid. But in doing this activity, I was Googling like Halloween candies, list of Halloween candies, list your top Halloween candies. Mm-hmm. Nerds Clusters in candy terms is brand new. It's been out for like a couple years.
Okay.
And then you have chocolate bars and M&Ms that have been around for over a century. So it's brand new, but everyone is very excited about it. I've had like a handful once. I think they're very, very, very good. So they're just like a good Nerds, very, very sugary, very, very sweet candy. So CJ Bailey, as a freshman, who might be the best true freshman quarterback in the country, he's brand new, but he seems pretty darn good. Nerds Clusters. Are we on board with that one, Dennis?
All right, I'll go with it.
All right, we just talked about Cooper Flagg for a bunch. This is a pair.
Okay.
Cooper Flagg and R.J. Davis.
All right.
Cooper Flagg of Duke, R.J. Davis of UNC, both AP preseason All-Americans. They are combined Twix.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
Have you seen the left Twix, right Twix commercials?
Oh, of course. I'm always the left Twix guy.
It's a big debate, right? It's like, oh, which one's better? And it's kind of no right answer. You know, it's not like they ever leave the commercial with, well, right Twix was the correct answer. Cooper Flagg, R.J. Davis, who's better? It's a debate now. It's fantastic arguments on both sides. I don't think there's necessarily a right answer. You might lean one way. You might have your ideas. You might say, I would choose this, but I get why you would choose that. It's left Twix versus right Twix. It's a debate that might not have a right answer. Let's stick with UNC. UNC football team. What is the UNC football team as candy? It's Kit Kat. It's Kit Kat bar. Why? Do you know the catchphrase for Kit Kats?
Give me a break.
Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat. I'm not paid for it, so I'm not going to finish it. UNC needed a break. They were 0-4, 4 consecutive losses. They went to a bye week, also known as a break. They came out of the break. They got a break, and they destroyed UVA in their first game out of the break.
That they did.
40-something to 7, whatever it was. They just needed a Kit Kat.
I was thinking of the 2-pack Starburst was for UNC. Because sometimes it's like, ooh, maybe I get 2 pink ones, or maybe I get like a pink and an orange, or a pink and a yellow. Or I get 2 of the ones I don't like. You just open, they're like, oh, this is what I'm getting.
It's a bummer when you go 2-pack Starburst and get two yellows.
The yellow's my favorite, so that's
But if you get 2 pinks,
that's gold.
We're in there. That's a good one. I like the grab bag nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Mingo.
Oh, I got this one for you.
Go ahead.
Runts.
Runts? You think he's small?
He's the runt of the receiving core of the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, he is. I don't know if he's undersized.
No, but he just in terms of what he gets.
I think I might be able to one-up you on this one.
All right, that's fine.
Butterfingers.
There's that too.
14 catchable targets this year. 2 drops.
Look at that.
It's a 14%, if I'm doing my math correct.
Not good.
14% of his catchable targets he drops. It's Butterfingers. Omarion Hampton, back to UNC. A lot of UNC in my brainstorming today.
All right.
He is a Hershey's chocolate bar.
Okay.
It's been around. I looked it up. Hershey's chocolate bar has been around since 1900.
Yeah. Been around for a long, long time.
So great. Not on a lot of lists, but I've never heard anyone say anything. Like, everyone agrees it's great. But when you go to the list of best candy, you almost never see it. It's taken for granted. Omarion Hampton isn't talked about enough, but when you bring him up, everyone agrees he's great. You bring up a Hershey's bar, you start cracking off the little rectangles, everyone's like, yeah, let me get one. Then 10 minutes later, you go, hey, what's your favorite candy? No one's like Hershey's chocolate bars, even though they probably should because they always want one.
It's also one of those things you just know what you're getting.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what you're getting every single time.
Very few surprises, but you're never disappointed.
Never disappointed.
Rod Brindamore.
Oh, there you go.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Oh, there you go.
And you played into it perfectly.
The best.
Every list I looked at, not every, 95%, landslide victory. Reese's was number 1.
Yeah.
And we just held our greatest hurricane of all time tournament. Every single vote that he was a part of, landslide victory.
Yep.
It's just there. I'll go with another hockey guy, Jalen Chatfield.
Okay.
Defenseman, Canes. Crunch Bar.
Okay.
I'm not sure why, but I'm a big fan. Crunch Bars, I think everybody kind of likes Crunch Bars. I think I always like them just a little bit more than everybody else. Like when you're doing the please take 3, and if there's Crunch Bars, I'm always grabbing one. And I just like Jalen Chatfield. I like the way he plays. I like speed on the blue line, and he's got it. And I like his story. I'm just a fan.
I was thinking like the mini Crackle.
Similar.
Like a similar type things. Like, you know what? I like that Crackle.
All right, these next ones are played more for comedic effect.
Okay.
Duke basketball team.
Oh, there it is.
I think Duke basketball is different candies to different groups of people. The Duke basketball team, if you are a Duke hater, just I don't like them, maybe a fan of UNC or State, they're nerds. They're nerds.
There it is.
Right there. But if you're a Duke fan, you grew up idolizing Coach K, they're not nerds. They're smarties. Let's go to a couple NC State names. Michael O'Connell.
All right.
And Ike Ekwonu. right? Michael O'Connell, member of the NC State basketball team. Ike Ekwonu, former member of the NC State football team. He's now a starting left tackle for the Panthers. Michael O'Connell and Ike Ekwonu, as a group, are what candy? They're Mike and Ike's. Michael, short, Mike. Ike, the first 3 letters of his real name, Ikem, is Ike. I-K-E. It's Mike and Ike's. It's obvious. How'd you not get that? Jesper Fost and Sebastian Aho. Jesper Fost, injured member of the Carolina Hurricanes. Sebastian Aho, one of the better, if not the best, player of the Carolina Hurricanes. As a pair, what are they? Swedish fish. Why? Because Jesper Fost is Swedish, and Sebastian Aho's nickname, Seabass, fish, fishy. Swedish fish. We have a Swedish guy and a guy whose nickname is Fishy. Swedish fish. Shane Gostisbehere with the Canes.
All right.
Just rolling through him now. Shane Gostisbehere. He's a now and later. He played for the Canes in 2022. It was awesome. Now he's back. He's now and he's later, and he's playing well again. Jonathan Brooks, running back that might be playing for the Carolina Panthers this weekend.
Yeah.
Remember those warheads from when we were kids?
Yes.
The little, hard candy that were sour as all get out. Like, so much so that it became it was like a challenge before social media existed. See if you could eat a warhead and not pucker. That's Jonathan Brooks. Because those candies, the first 30 seconds were terrible. Just awful. Sour, brutal, kind of hurt your mouth a little bit. Then they became a pretty good hard candy. Then they became a pretty good, had a nice little crunch to them. Hopefully that's Jonathan Brooks, where the first 8 weeks with him on the Panthers is just absolutely brutal. And then he becomes a really good running back. Just a solid running back, the workhorse that you can give the ball to. Last one. Ben Middlebrooks, Jaden Taylor, Michael O'Connell, NC State basketball. They are a Three Musketeers.
There it is. I have a couple more for you.
Three Musketeers. Oh, I'd love to hear them.
Deontay Johnson,
Whoppers.
It's the one that you just want to get away. It's the one that, I got Whoppers here. You know what? I want to get these things away.
I don't like the texture of a Whopper.
That too.
That was just a candy observation. Had nothing to do with Deontay Johnson.
My final one, Bryce Young. The little candy buttons, those little hard candy dots on a sheet of paper.
That you try to rip off, and there's always a little bit of paper?
Exactly. They look fun, but really,
I think
that little sugary taste just doesn't really actually taste that good. And it's a lot of work for very little in return.
I think you could have gone with any candy bar fun size.
Well, no. I'd make it special here. But sometimes those fun size candies are delicious.
Sometimes, he was a Heisman Trophy winner.
I know. That was then. This is now.
True. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. If you have some good ones, you can comment them on our YouTube page. In the comments, you can send them to us on social media, at Donnelly Sports.
We actually have a couple. Someone said Duke is licorice. That's funny. And
that's fine. I'm fine with that. Little. I'm not going to get into it, but go ahead.
And Rinktastic said, we're talking about Brent Burns and the candy corn, and Rinktastic said, and Burnsy can use the candy corn as teeth.
It's another level of the joke.
I like it.
If you have some good ones, like I said, you can comment them on our YouTube page right under our live stream. You can also send them to us on Twitter, at me, at Donnelly Sports, or you can add Dennis as well, at The Fan Rookie. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. I've talked about it so much, but it's the case. In an election year, interest rates, the markets, what's the Fed going to do? You don't know. It's always going to be volatile in an election year. So the way you deal with it isn't by trying to predict what is unpredictable. It's by being ready to adapt to whatever happens, react to whatever happens. Gordon Miller and Miller Lending, they will let you do that with something called a no-cost loan. It's a no-closing cost loan that Gordon's been doing since 1987. Miller Lending's been doing since they showed up here in the Triangle decades and decades ago. Just because rates go up doesn't mean you should cry. Just because rates go down doesn't mean you should cry if you locked in your rate yesterday, right? Oh, now they're lower now. I should have waited. Get your rate with a no-closing cost loan from Miller Lending. If rates go up tomorrow, you're happy you locked it in yesterday. If rates go down tomorrow, refinance. Why? Why are you more comfortable doing that? Because it costs you nothing. There's no cost, no fees out of your pocket. It's that simple. It allows you to react, be flexible, take advantage of whatever happens in the market. And that's what Miller Lending wants you to do. They want to help you. So give them a call, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Will be back after this with Football at 4. We're talking pigskin like we always do next.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Beautiful passing by the Carolina Hurricanes, and Burns to Roslovic, and it's 3-1 here in Vancouver.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Back to Slavin, he shot right on, rebounds out in front, chance up front, they score! Here come the Hats!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Morning people wake up for peace and quiet. McDonald's breakfast people, we wake up for the sweet rush of getting that warm, delicious breakfast right before it ends.
Enjoy a savory sausage McMuffin with a fluffy egg for only $2.50. Be a McDonald's breakfast person. Get the most important deal of the day right after you wake up. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The NBA is finally back. A new season means new ways to get into the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Who's draining threes from beyond the arc? Who's crashing the boards and grabbing the rebounds? Get behind your favorite players and the prop bets you can make on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. First time? New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Every point counts with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD with no spaces for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score!
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Happy Halloween! Not too scary out there for us. A nice warm afternoon with partly cloudy skies and a high of 81. Great looking temperatures for the trick-or-treaters. We'll see temps falling down into the 70s as the kids are headed out to the neighborhoods, and then down to 62 for the low overnight. Another warm one tomorrow with a high of 82 under partly cloudy skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company. Where your comfort is their business, visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 378 points to 41,763. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for Football at 4, and we're going to be talking quarterbacks. But because of that, there was at least one pretty funny of our candy game we were playing where we encouraged you to send in your players as candy. Hey,
like, what's your comp?
What's your candy comp? And there was at least one funny one that Dennis told me about during the commercial break.
Yeah, on our YouTube live chat, Poppy Milk Moose said, Andy Dalton is Mr. Goodbar. You used to like it, but not anymore.
I don't know if I've ever had a Mr. Goodbar, but I like that as the explanation for the comp. Do you know what else I like about who said it? I want to give credit to the person.
Poppy Milk Moose.
Poppy Milk Moose. What I like about Poppy Milk Moose, I always like this about Poppy Milk Moose, didn't take the low-hanging fruit. Easily could have just picked an orange or a fiery red candy and said, it's Andy Dalton, ha, ha, ha.
Andy Dalton's a Twizzler.
That's a low-hanging fruit. Instead, went with the insult to the fact that he started hot and then started playing poorly as the thing went on. It's more creative, and I'm a fan. Now, moving on. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There is a feverish debate on social media. I don't know if everybody's in these kind of football nerd social media worlds that my algorithm puts me in, but there is a feverish debate on if the NFL has a QB quarterback development problem. And it's popping up right now because, A, Bryce Young still hasn't developed, and now Anthony Richardson has gotten benched. And if you look at the last handful of years, there's a lot of misses in the first round, but not just the first round, all the way through the draft when it comes to quarterbacks. The first tweet I saw that kind of started it said, Anthony Richardson is 22, benched. Bryce Young is 23, benched. Trey Lance is 24, benched. Justin Fields is 25, benched. Will Levis is 25, benched. Zach Wilson is 20. I could go on. They have Mac Jones. They have Kenny Pickett. All these guys up until their oldest was 26, benched. And then it said, the NFL has a quarterback development problem. I don't think it does. It doesn't. You know what it does have? It has it's really, really hard to play quarterback in the NFL problem. It's really hard to do, and not everyone can do it. Even those that were elite or excelled at playing quarterback in college, a lot of them can't do it either. And I'm going to go one step further and say there is a problem the NFL has. The NFL has a problem that people are expecting multiple elite starters to come out of every single NFL draft. It's just not going to happen. It's really hard to predict, even for people whose entire job is to predict who's going to be the best quarterback, to get it right. You should bake in those misses. When, like, it's actually, it's kind of funny, right? Me and my quarterback nerd friends, every year before the draft, we rank the top 10 quarterbacks in the draft on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being essentially a Hall of Famer, 5 being out of the league within 3 years. And we rank them all. And you'd be surprised how often one of us says, like this past year, Drake May gets like a 3 from somebody, or a 3.5, which is like basically long-term backup, never turns into a starter. And after losing their job early. And the explanation is just, history says one of these 3 guys at the top of the draft is going to not be a good quarterback. And they like Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams. So, by default, Drake May was getting the heave-ho. That's how you should kind of think about drafts. If 5 are taken in the first round, hope you get one good, really good one, another long-term starter, and that the rest aren't terrible people. That's like the realistic expectation. But instead, you look at it and you go like, gosh, Bryce Young and Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson get benched. How awful is this? Without acknowledging between them was C.J. Stroud, who came into year 2 as an MVP candidate. And by the way, C.J. Stroud was not a no-brainer choice before the draft over Bryce Young, no matter how many retroactive 2020 hindsight, it's always the rearview mirror, crystal clear people want to say that it was. The best sports bettors on the planet, like the ones that make huge amounts of money betting on sports, win about 56% of the time.
Yeah, that's it.
They just bet so much darn money that 6% is a boatload. Picking a QB, I would guess, isn't much better. If you can say with pretty good certainty how good a quarterback's ceiling and floor is on 56% of guys, I think you'd be like the best GM in the NFL. There are young guys that develop. And oh, by the way, NFL is a development problem. It might be individual teams have a development problem, but if you show something, you get chances. What have Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold done? They developed. They got way better than they used to be. We've seen them not be great quarterbacks. Now they're playing really well. What happened? They developed. Now, part of that development was having to move towns and, rent a place for a year and go through a whole bunch of crazy stuff, but that might be part of their development too. Maybe a humbling, maybe a learning different systems, maybe a picking one thing from this coach and one thing from that coach and one thing from this coach and then putting it all together. You develop. First-round picks with a little bit of physical ability, they have 9 lives. You think they're going to not develop? Some of them can't, but if you can, figure it out. By the way, just because we listed all the quarterbacks that didn't work, we should do this as well. Caleb Williams looks like he's going to work out. Jaden Daniels for darn sure. They're 22 and 23. C.J. Stroud's 23 years old. Brock Purdy's 24 years old. Bo Nix is 24 years old. Trevor Lawrence is 24. Jordan Love is 25. Jalen Hurts is 26. Justin Herbert is 26. Tua is 26. Burrow is 27. There's a lot. Lamar Jackson is a 2-time MVP. He's 27. People said when he got to the NFL, he couldn't pass at any kind of level, even though he was a Heisman Trophy winner. I would say this year, considering he's leading the league in passer rating and top 5 in passing yards, he's developed as a passer. Bryce Young didn't develop. Haven't seen it yet. Maybe he's developing under very, very good camouflage, but we haven't seen it yet. One guy, a handful of guys not panning out doesn't mean that the ones that should, are good enough to, and will become elites are not developing. It just means it's really gosh darn hard to do. Really gosh darn, it's there aren't, and I say this all the time, and I firmly believe it, there aren't at any given moment in their current state 32 starting caliber NFL quarterbacks walking planet Earth. There aren't. Might have 20 starting caliber quarterbacks and 12 teams trying to get by. And the reason why I say current is because obviously Montana's still on the earth, Elway's still on the earth. I'm talking about their current state. So if there's 20 walking planet Earth right now that are good enough to be an elite starting quarterback, yeah, lower your expectations on how many are going to become great that are picked in the 3rd round by a mediocre football team. And understand that the Brock Purdy's, the Tom Brady's, the Dak Prescott's, the Russell Wilsons that come from not first-round picks are shooting stars. They're unbelievable long shots. They are not the norm. I saw someone, they listed from 2021 to 2023, there were 26 quarterbacks drafted. 3 of them are seen as current starters. And they acted like that was doing something. They acted like that stat was look how bad it is. I'm going, I think it's pretty good. Because, a few of those picks were like Skylar Thompson in the 7th round, and he's a 7th rounder that actually started football games. That's a win. That's a hit. Right, a 5th round pick just being a backup for 5 years is a hit at quarterback. If 26 are drafted over 3 years, 3 become starters, you got to tell me where they're drafted before I go, that's a big problem. I might say that's a huge win.
Yeah, like I said, are they a bunch of 7th rounders, 6th rounders? I mean, are you getting a striking gold on a Kirk Cousins that was a 4th round pick? Or are you going to strike lucky with the Brock Purdy as the 7th round pick?
If Brock Purdy is in that mix, he should be worth $17 gold stars for every one demerit that a 7th-round pick not hitting would add up to. Maybe 100 gold stars. Tom Brady has made the 6th round so good that every other loss in the 6th round isn't as big a miss as Tom Brady was a hit. That's just how it is. It's hard to do.
We've seen first-round picks at every position not work.
100%.
That's just, it's the roll of the dice. No one fully knows how this is actually going to pan out. Because guess what? You might draft someone that has all the talent and the ability. They just might say, you know what? I'm not going to work as hard as I probably can.
It's also, you don't know how people are going to be when they get money.
Exactly.
You get that first-round contract. Caleb Williams got $39.5 million guaranteed the moment he was drafted. Not saying Caleb Williams is reacting this way, but I'm saying nobody knows how you're going to react when you suddenly no longer have to worry about the financial stress of life.
It's like, there's a lifestyle that I can live?
He did buy a bananas like $12 million on the Great Lakes mansion that looks like a museum. I don't even think a 22, 23-year-old would enjoy it, but expensive.
Good for him.
Got like statues inside and stuff. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Capital Financial Advisory Group. Wouldn't you like to not have to worry about the financial stresses of life when you retire? That's what Coach Pete and Capital Financial want to do for you. They want to take away the worry, give you a guaranteed, maximized income that lasts not just through the first part of retirement, and then you have to shuffle up your lifestyle, not just, as long as you don't have tremendous amounts of end-of-life care or as long as your spouse survives, as long as you do, you're good. Not fun conversations, but ones you should have. Capital Financial Advisory Group, they want to make sure you don't have to worry about those financial stresses all the way through retirement. Stresses of the market, people get really stressed out about that, right? Oh, if the market goes down, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, Coach Pete, he structures your retirement plan so it doesn't depend on the success of the market for you to have the income that you plan for in retirement. It all sounds great, doesn't it? You should hear more. You want to? Give them a call, 800-691-3215. That's 800-691-3215. Just make sure they know you heard about it right here from Tim on 99.9 The Fan. Or you can text. You can always text. Sometimes you'd rather text. The number, 600-700. That's what you text to. The word you send is just my name, Tim, T-I-M. Text it in to 600-700, and they'll know what you're there for. Go ahead and give them a call, give them a text. It's Capital Financial. And, of course, Coach Pete. I hit on my ladder challenge last night. I believe Dennis did as well, which means it all comes down to this. Who wins at the end of the month? The ladder challenge next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
We know that Juan Soto loves playing on the big stage. He is a star that loves the spotlight. And you get that with either New York team. But with the Yankees, it's just a little different. Yeah. Wearing those pinstripes is just a little different. If Juan Soto has a comparable financial offer from the Yankees and the Mets, those are things that could influence that decision.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
North Carolina football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown, and he throws an awesome block so his teammate can score instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. I'm Victoria Vodnecker with BetMGM, and there is BetMGM's second chance promotion where you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Everyone knows the most exciting part of football is the score. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. Try the first touchdown score bet today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, North Carolina only. Existing customer offer subject to eligibility requirements. Gambling problem? Call 877 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She was the deciding vote for his disastrous economic agenda. Kamala and Joe raised taxes on the middle class, and prices soared. Kamala was in charge of his open border policies, giving welfare to illegals while Americans struggle, and their weakness invited wars. Now Kamala wants to double down on failure. It's time to turn the page on Joe and Kamala's failed agenda. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower and the border secure. Now, President Trump can do it again.
And we are going to launch a new golden age of American success for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Remember, Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald Trump, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Donald J. Trump for President 2024 Inc.
Time is up. The IRS is in full collection mode for 2024, issuing liens, levies, and garnishments to anyone who has a past tax debt or unfiled tax returns. Don't wait till it's too late. Your paycheck and bank accounts are at risk of being seized. Call now and stop the collection process today. If you're living check to check, no matter how much you're making, you still may qualify for the Fresh Start programs offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. It's just a 5-minute call to get your options, and it's free. If you owe back taxes, have years of unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to sleep better, business or personal, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief while there's still time. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and tough. This veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. The call is free. Call their hotline number now, 800-652-1714. That's 800-652-1714. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-652-1714 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary. Paid for by AMD Financial.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Usually I look for like a space or like a moment in the music where like I can jump in coming out of breaks. There's no way you can predict this one. All right. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. By the way, today is your second to last day to text in the keyword silver to potentially win tickets to see Sarah Silverman stand-up comedy at DPAC on November 8th. The keyword to text in is silver, S-I-L-V-E-R. The number that you text it to is 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Keyword silver for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Sarah Silverman at DPAC on November 8th. Now let's jump into the ladder challenge. Dennis and I, starting the beginning of the month, we started with $10. And we were placing bets. And the goal was to use slowly accrued compounding wins to make a whole bunch of money by the end of the month. If you bet $10 on a minus 500 or minus 1,000 bet, right, something that's likely to win, we picked between those parameters to use for our competition. And you get it right for an entire month, you will have 10x your money, depending on what the odds are. Turns out we're not as good as we thought, but we're getting much better. First couple of times, lost on the second or third day. Re-up, put our $10 back in. Let's go again. Now, we're going on like a week. Neither of us have lost, and the game is whoever has the most money at the end of the month wins before we restart for the next month. Right now, I am sitting on $19.40.
Okay.
You are sitting on, because by the way, LeBron hit 30-plus points, rebounds, assists easily. Bronny got his first NBA points, all of it in Cleveland. You got to follow the narrative. They were going to have their moments in Cleveland. So I hit yesterday, $19.40 to bet today.
I'm at $20.40.
All right.
Because I had Nikolai Ehlers at minus 500 to get 2+ shots on goal, and he got 2 for the Winnipeg Jets yesterday, so nailed it.
So, actually, as the leader, it's like golf, right? You won the previous hole. Go ahead and make your pick.
All right, this one's going to be a little bit tough here. I'm leaning towards a couple of guys. You know me with my shots on goal when it comes to hockey, right? Always a big fan of my shots on goal. Andrei Svechnikov is averaging 4 shots on goal a game.
Put something on the Canes?
Yes. He's averaging 4 shots on goal per game is Andrei Svechnikov. 8 games, 32 shots. There's your on-air math for you. 2+ shots on goal for Andrei Svechnikov is minus 500. Give me that.
They play Boston tonight.
They do.
At
Club Lenovo, baby.
If it hits, you win, because minus 500 is the best odds that we could possibly get.
Exactly.
Or the highest paying odds that we can get within our game.
Going for the win here.
I'm going. So I might as well go minus 1,000, but I've already placed the bet. So unfortunately, minus 520 is my bet. It is Thursday night football. Jets over 13.5 points. It is an alternate spread.
Okay.
I've brought it all the way down to 13.5. That would have hit in 7 of their 8 games thus far this year. The best game of their year against New England was a Thursday nighter, so they have experience being good on Thursday night.
Okay.
Also, I did a.
So this is the Jets. Their total.
Their Jets to score over 13.5 points.
Okay, gotcha. Not like moving the line at plus 13.
No. It is the Jets to score at least 14 points.
Okay. Couple touchdowns. They're in. Yeah, they can get that.
Thursday night football, I did a ton of math today. I don't know why I was feeling like a calculator today.
Well, you know.
Thursday night football is inherently higher scoring than normal games. It has this reputation of like always being a 6-3 pitchers duel bloodbath that no one wants to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Over the last 2 years, I went back 2 full seasons to try to get a decent sample size. Thursday night football has averaged 49.5 total points scored per game. So the 2 teams combined for 49.5. Over the same 2 years, much more games obviously, but over the same 2 years, all non-Thursday night football games have averaged almost exactly 44 points scored. So there's an extra 5.5 points per game that they find on Thursday night that they don't find on a Sunday, a Monday, a Friday, Saturday, like all those crazy games at the beginning and end of the year. So the Jets have hit in 7 of 8 games. However, give them an extra like 2.5 points because they get their half of the 5.5. I like them even more. Jets over 13.5. It's minus 520. If it hits, I will win $23.13, which won't be enough if Dennis hits, but I'm hoping mine's right, his is wrong, and then I win and we run it back for the month of November.
Yeah, if I hit, I will have $24.40.
We'll have to decide whether we start November with more money, since we will both be making money here, or if we go back and start over at 10 again.
I think we just start right back over.
All right. Pocket a little cash. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We will be bragging or hiding tomorrow, one of us.
Or we both could be hiding.
True, if we both lose.
What if we both could just lose?
That's a good one. I hadn't even thought. If we both lose, then we have to like double or nothing. We'll do a Friday bet, and that'll decide who wins October.
Fair enough.
Whoever wins the most.
then watch neither of us win that either.
Well, you could be safe. You could bet like minus 10,000. It'll just be whoever makes the most.
Okay.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is also a Thursday. It's not just Halloween. It's also a Thursday. So let's jump into cons and cons.
But to play great defense, you need one thing above all else. That starts with a W. Confidence.
By the way, coming up at 4:33, Carolina Hurricanes play tonight. Dennis made his pick with a Carolina Hurricanes bet.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing against the Bruins at 4:33. Just like every weekday Canes game, we will open up the phone lines for first goal scorer predictions. Who will score? All you need to tell us is who will score the first goal of the game for the Canes and in what period they will score that goal. If you get it right, you get an awesome certificate from Apex Racing Lab. It's a simulator racing deal. Really, really cool. So be ready, 4:33 with your first goal scores. Right now it's cons and cons. We're talking Panthers. It is what are you most confident in and what are you most concerned about? Just like every single week, hey, I've got good news and bad news. Which do you want? I'll take the bad news first. Start with concerns. My concern. First of all, my concerns are plentiful.
Well, yes.
The one I'm choosing to highlight today is Dave Canales' play calling.
Okay.
We've put a lot of emphasis on the defense being conservative and bland, not blitzing, not being trying to take advantage of their best players, and you know, if you're not getting a pass rush, you need to be scheming up something. When's the last time something surprised you from the Panthers' offensive playbook? And I'm talking about surprised you in a good way.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that 4th and 2 call.
I have it in my notes.
That was a
here.
shock, but that was not in a good way.
I was going to say, not in a, whoa, I'm surprised they ran a hybrid pass, triple option to Miles Sanders on 4th and 2 that had no chance of getting the first down. Not that as the surprise. When's the last time you were like, ooh, didn't expect that, but that's a good call? I can't remember. And without a few of those a game, the offense is just not going to have much chance. Without a few of those a game, Bryce Young's not going to have much chance. So I'm concerned about the play calling. Dennis, what are you concerned about?
Offensive line health right now. Ike Ekwonu left this past Sunday's game. He went out with an ankle injury, got it wrapped up, came back, was still gimpy, and actually allowed a couple more pressures. You can actually tell like he was not be able to put full weight, if I remember correctly, on his left ankle, and actually got beat to the inside a couple of times. That caused some pressure on Bryce Young. And then he actually eventually exited the game, and then Brady Christensen, who's starting at center in place of injured Austin Corbett, slid over to left tackle, and then Cade Mays came in to be your center. So right now, Ike Ekwonu missed the second straight practice because of that ankle today. Did not practice. So if he can't go, then you're looking at backups in 2 spots and really down to your third guy in one of those 2 spots. And 2 very important ones, left tackle and center. And then obviously Taylor Moton's been dealing with his injuries and stuff that he's been dealing with. He actually just had a vet rest day today, so it seems like he's healthy and actually ready to go, and hopefully actually be playing better this coming Sunday as well. But offensive line health, it's gotten a little thin in a couple of different spots just because of injury and attrition. It's a thing that happens.
Good luck, Bryce.
Right.
Oh, let's go ahead and jump to confidence. It's more fun. I've found my confidence, and they are going to remain kind of king of the hill until someone knocks them off.
Okay.
It's the rookies.
Yeah.
The rookies. They were my confidence last week, and they built my confidence this week to once again be here. The normal guys, I call them the normal ones, the ones that we highlighted last week were good. Leggett caught a touchdown, 4 catches, 38 yards. Trevin Wallace, Shaw Smith-Wade, 4 tackles apiece. Jatavian Sanders, 1 target, 1 catch, 7 yards. Those are the guys we've been talking about the last few weeks. But now there's the new and unexpected.
Oh, yeah?
Jalen Coker. Damani Richardson. 2 undrafted rookie free agents outperformed the normals. Jalen Coker with 4 catches, 78 yards, and a garbage time touchdown. Damani Richardson, an undrafted free agent defensive back, led the team with 11 tackles. And help on the way, Jonathan Brooks might be back this week, which would be another rookie contributing. So as frustrated as I am with the coaches and the vets, the rookies keep building my confidence. So they're going to be my confidence until, like, they're now the heavyweight champ. You got to knock them out to get them off of my confidence, or else they'll just, be the reigning and still unanimous heavyweight champion of confidence and cons. The rookies.
Jonathan Brooks, full participant for the second straight day today.
He hasn't been officially activated, but he's kind of acting like he is.
Yeah. I mean, if he's not activated by this Sunday, he'll definitely be activated by the game in Germany against the Giants.
I think he has to be activated by Monday or Tuesday, or else his 21 days go up.
Yeah, I think it's Tuesday next week, I think is when the day he has to be activated by then. But hopefully, fingers crossed.
I wouldn't want to debut him in Germany. Get him on the field today, this week.
Yeah, at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. My confidence was actually along the same lines of what you were. I was actually going to say Jalen Coker. And just the way that he's developed into being that number 2. But one thing that actually kind of surprised me is that he didn't run the fastest 40 time, but he plays fast, if that makes sense. That's one of those things, like his game speed is actually up there as good as anybody's. He's actually able to get separation from defensive backs. Remember correctly, his 40 time, I think his pro day or the combine was like a 4.6?
4.57.
4.57. Okay, so relatively close to that. But it seems like he plays at a faster pace.
Field fast.
Exactly. He's football fast.
That's the old Jerry Rice thing. On a Wednesday, he's a 4.8. On a Sunday, he's a 4.4.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He can be Sunday 4.4. So, yes, I'm going to go with Jalen Coker. His ability to separate, but also just it seems like he has that ability to make that tough catch with his hands. Like we saw down the left sideline, make a tough catch down the left sideline. I think it was in the third quarter. But also there was one catch that he made like on an out route to the right side of the field that got called back because of a holding penalty. That was a fantastic catch. And also it was a good throw by Bryce, but also an even better catch by Jalen Coker.
I'm in on Jalen Coker, and he was somebody that, based on his college tape, people were kind of excited about him as an undrafted free agent.
Steve Smith spoke high of him.
Even before he's gotten a chance on the field. But I also think the reaction to Jalen Coker shows how thirsty the Panthers are for just Panthers fans are for just anything good to happen. It's like, that guy, who's that? Oh, I love him. He has like 12 catches on the season. They go from zero to love very, very quickly. But again, I'm in on it too. I'm right there, hook, line, and sinker with everybody else. So I'm not saying it's the wrong way to be. I'm just saying it does show. I think if Jalen Coker had 78 yards and a touchdown for like the Bills or something, they wouldn't be as infatuated with him this quickly. But because it's the Panthers, it's like, that's my hero. I love that guy. Garbage time touchdown was my favorite play.
You know, we mentioned Steve Smith.
We did.
In our candy comparisons that we've had going online with fans.
Candy comps.
Someone actually said this actually comes from Poppy Milk Moose. Dropping another one here. Steve Smith is runts. Small, but will break your teeth if you're not careful. I was like, all right, that's quite accurate.
Jawbreaker or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Jawbreaker, another one. T. Wells also said Frank Reich is York Peppermint. Always York just pops up on random store shelves.
I like that one. Non-threatening. Yeah. Very, very nice.
It's like, oh, look, there it is.
A York Peppermint Patty feels like polite. I don't know why. I'm with that. Frank Reich, York Peppermint Patty. Go for it. If you have any others, candy comps for players, coaches, North Carolina sports newsmakers, feel free. You can send them to us on our YouTube live stream chat. You can send them to us on social media as well. The funny ones, the good ones, we'll bring up on air. It's time for first goal scorer predictions. First goal scorer predictions. We need 3 contestants to call in. They'll be our official contestants. Everyone else can play for bragging rights in the YouTube chat. If you get it right, you pick the player who scores the first goal for the Canes and the period in which they scored. If you get both right, you will win a sim racing experience at Apex Racing Lab. I'll explain what that means while Dennis fields the callers. So we'll open up the phone lines, 919-860-5326. We need our first goal scorer predictions. The number to call in right now, 919-860-5326. It's the Heister Automotive Group hotline. The prize is a gift card to the Ultimate Sim Racing Experience at Apex Racing Lab. Rev up your engines at Apex Racing Lab, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination. Experience the ultimate thrill with 20 cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class virtual tracks located in Cary's McGregor Village in Greater Raleigh. Visit Apex Racing Lab today and unleash your racing passion. Learn more at apexracinglab.com. We need the first goal scorers. Dennis is ringing them up. He's lining them up on the call-in line, which is open, 919-860-5326. I'll start it off. My prediction for first goal scorer is the rookie, Jackson Blake, with a highlight. We always ask for specifics just for fun. A highlight goal in the first period. A spin move, some kind of crazy stick handling. Maybe a little okey doke on a defender. Something that gets the crowd to their feet. Because a rookie, right? So rookies, they're usually a little brash. 2, he was just told by the team to find a place of his own, which means you can expect to be in Carolina. Don't worry about going back and forth between Carolina.
Oh, they told that to Jackson Blake?
They told that to Jackson.
Hey, go find a place, young man.
If you're staying on someone's couch, go get a place with a key that is yours.
All right, look, we're tired of paying for the team hotel for you.
Yeah,
buddy.
Pretty much. Go get a place.
Time to check out.
So he'll be extra confident. And then also I think tonight's game, there's going to be a lot of energy in the building.
Yeah,
it's Halloween. Home. It's Boston. There's a lot going on. You're on a hot streak. So I'm confident he's going to try to pull something off, some kind of crazy spin move, some kind of crazy individual run. Almost had one the other day.
I know. He almost did that the other day. I was like, yo, that would have been early goal of the year had he tucked that one in.
So I think he's going to try something. I'm hoping he pulls it off. Jackson Blake with a highlight in the first period. That's my pick. Let's go to the callers, see who they pick. We have Travis and Franklinton. Travis, who scores the first goal for the Canes, and in what period did they do it?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Since it's Halloween, I'm going the Ghost, Shane Gostisbehere, first period, slap shot on the power play.
Love it. And on brand, like you said, with the Ghost.
That's right.
Appreciate the call, Travis. Stay on the line. He will. Dennis has to get some info from you. My son, who's 3.5, chose to go as a ghost for Halloween this year. So
classic.
If you see, he's big on the sounds. If you hear that walking around trick or treating tonight, you know who it is. Maybe that's a sign for Gostisbehere. Gus and Carey, you're up next. Gus and Carey, who scores the first goal for the Canes and in what period?
SJ in the second.
What was that? I missed who you said.
SJ, Seth Jarvis.
Oh, Seth Jarvis. Okay. I don't know why, but those initials didn't register with me. SJ in the second. Why not the first?
He's tired.
Right.
Had a long road trip.
All right. Got it. Slept in his own bed, a little groggy. I'm with it. Appreciate it, Gus. Stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to get from you. And finally, David in Durham. David, who scores the first goal for the Canes and in what period?
Roslovic first.
Confident. That doesn't feel like a guess. Do you know something we don't know?
It's the Bruins, so it's going to be a little physical, and I think he can pull one out.
All right, David, appreciate it. Like the justification. Stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to get from you. Dennis, before you start wrangling all their info, give us your pick. First goal scored in what period?
First goal scored tonight. You know what? I'm going to go pretty chalk on this one. Aho in the first.
Aho in the first.
Pretty chalk. Feels like he needs a goal, which is kind of weird.
Well, we know he'll get one if it goes
right?
to overtime.
Exactly. But no, actually, in all seriousness, like 5-on-5 goal is probably something that he actually does need. So yeah, give me Sebastian Aho in the first.
Place would go nutso if Sebastian Aho scores the first goal of the game early in the first. Again, like I said, I think the Lenovo Center, the home rink for the Canes, is going to be a metaphorical powder keg tonight, and the Canes just have to do something to let them explode, right? Do something to let that crowd ignite, and an Aho goal in the first would certainly match that feat. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. If you did not get on air, right? We had our 3 official contestants. If you did not get on air, which is those 3 are eligible for the Apex Racing Lab, but you still want to make your prediction of the first goal scorer for bragging rights. You want to be able to tell us, I told you so, tomorrow when we're on the show. You can send it to us on our YouTube live stream comments. Dennis will be monitoring those. You can send them to us on Twitter. You can send them to us by carrier pigeon, smoke signals. We don't care how, but got to get it to us before the game, right? We don't want to see any retroactives. I told you, I knew it was going to be that. I just didn't let you know. Got to have receipts, okay? So let us know, and then you can brag about it. But the 3 who called in, which was Travis saying Ghost in the first, that's Gostisbehere, Gus saying Jarvis in the second, and David, saying Roslovic in the first. They are the official contestants.
Jack Roslovic's had a nice start to the year. 4 goals in 8 games.
The free agency acquisitions have
they've delivered.
They're making Eric Tulsky look good early on.
Yeah, they
Hopefully they continue doing that. It's obviously the new GM. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. What if you could be debt-free by this January? I'm talking about all that high-interest debt. Pay off all your credit cards, your car loans, consolidate everything into one lower payment. If you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to give Loan Pronto a call now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto's got rates with APRs in the low 5s, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this with Loan Pronto save on average $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis or their express equity lines of credit. So call now and get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today and you won't make a house payment till 2025. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. Free rate quote now. 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. On approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Mike Glennon stopped by earlier today. We recorded a new edition of Pack Therapy, the podcast that focuses on state football, Mike obviously being a state football legend. But we also had to talk about the state of quarterbacks in the NFL, including Bryce Young and the Deontay Johnson trade. That's coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Carolina Ford Dealers. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM. or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
Time is up. The IRS is in full collection mode for 2024, issuing liens, levies, and garnishments to anyone who has a past tax debt or unfiled tax returns. Don't wait till it's too late. Your paycheck and bank accounts are at risk of being seized. Call now and stop the collection process today. If you're living check to check, no matter how much you're making, you still may qualify for the Fresh Start programs offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. It's just a 5-minute call to get your options, and it's free. If you owe back taxes, have years of unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to sleep better, business or personal, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief while there's still time. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and tough. This veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. The call is free. Call their hotline number now, 800-652-1714. That's 800-652-1714. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-652-1714 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary. Paid for by AMD Financial.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time for our weekly check-in with Mike Glennon, former NC State quarterback, 10-year NFL vet. It's on a Halloween, so happy Halloween, Mike. I just feel like we should be more festive here. Everyone around the office is dressed up, and we're just hanging out. But happy Halloween to everybody out there. If you see, are you going trick-or-treating as the Claymation Rudolph family?
No.
Oh.
We already did it once. I did the Yukon Cornelius the other day. I
was going to tell people to look for the world's biggest Yukon Cornelius from Claymation Rudolph.
I broke out at our work my old Napoleon Dynamite costume.
Oh, you did?
It's been sitting, getting a little dust on it, but it was time to break it out after, I don't know, 15 years or so.
All right, so that if you're out and about on Halloween and you see a giant Napoleon Dynamite, then say hi and say you listen to the Pack Therapy podcast, which Mike co-hosts with me, and you hear him here on the Drive. Let's talk quarterbacks. Anthony Richardson benched, Bryce Young benched, benched. Who knows what his future is? The discourse in the NFL right now is, does the NFL have a QB development problem? Do you think that that's the case when it comes to guys like Bryce, when it comes to guys like Anthony Richardson? Is the NFL not doing them enough to turn them into starting potentially elite quarterbacks?
I don't think it has a quarterback development problem. I think in both of those cases, they're a little unique. I think the Panthers did fail Bryce. I still don't know if Bryce would ever become what they drafted him to be, even if they did surround him with great pieces. I think the Anthony Richardson thing, I'm assuming there might have been, this was a 2-year buildup of things that they've seen from him. I don't think it was completely performance-based. I think his performance played a role in it, but I think it was the tapping out that they just had enough of him, and they're whether they move on for good or what, I think it was just just too much. So, no, I don't think Anthony Richardson, did he have enough time to develop? Probably not, but I think there's more behind that they see on a daily basis that led to that decision.
I want to come back to this conversation, but just because you brought up the tapping out, for those of you that didn't see it, Anthony Richardson, during an NFL game, asked to come out because he was tired. He needed a breather. He's a quarterback. I've never seen a quarterback do it. You played for John Gruden. I just kind of want to play this like what if game. Yourself, Derek Carr, whoever it was at that time, you scramble around a little bit, right? You shake off a tackler, and then you look to John Gruden and say, "Coach, I need a breather." How does that play out?
His face turns as red as a tomato and uses a bunch of 4-letter words that we can't use on here. And honestly, I think Gruden would have the same reaction. Like, you do that as a quarterback, you're not the quarterback. You just think of, I mean, the first person that comes to mind, I don't know why, is like Matt Stafford. How many times have we seen Matt Stafford like hurled over in the most pain in the world? Shoulder pops out and he goes down and scores a touchdown to win the game.
World's best mic'd up. It's from like 2011. I don't know what year it was, but if you haven't seen it, go watch Matt Stafford be the toughest quarterback you've seen.
And you're tapping out because you're tired. Like, you just can't do that. And you don't have to be Kobe Bryant Mamba mentality. Like, everyone's wired a little different, but as a quarterback, you can't pull yourself out of the game because you're tired. I mean, maybe you get back to the huddle and you hear it's like you're going to have to do some crazy running, and maybe you're like, timeout. Like, Coach, I am exhausted. I think the best thing is to take a timeout. Taking a timeout is better than immediately tapping your helmet. That's what receivers do. That's what defensive linemen do. Quarterbacks, you don't do that. Like, you can't be the franchise guy and take yourself out of the game because you're tired. I don't care how much you ran around. Like, that's just part of the position.
And then Joe Flacco is the guy waiting in the wings, who's pretty darn good. Shout out to the Blue Hens. Mike Glennon joining us in studio here. Going back to the bigger conversation of the quarterback development and the atmosphere, and how much of it is nature, how much of it is nurture, how much is on the player, how much is on the team. Does it play out differently for Bryce, and does it play out differently for the Panthers if the top 2 picks are flipped? Right? It's the old like Peyton Manning, Ryan Leaf thing. If Ryan Leaf goes to the Colts and has more their offensive coordinator and that coaching staff, is he better, and is Peyton Manning maybe torn around? But we'll do the modern version of that, which is if Bryce goes to Houston, where DeMeco Ryans appears to have things going in the right direction, he gets to pair up with Nico Collins. Does Bryce have a significantly better reputation?
Yes, but C.J. Stroud is still better than Bryce Young if the roles reverse. Like,
so if he's in Carolina, he's better than Bryce in Houston?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that there's definitely a large enough gap in talent that now C.J. Stroud wouldn't be as good in Carolina as he is in Houston. Bryce is going to be better in Houston than he is in Carolina, but I think C.J. is just a better player. And look, I was wrong. I thought the Panthers did the right thing to take Bryce Young. I didn't think the height would be as big of an issue. I thought he had more arm talent than he appears to have. But so, no, I don't think Bryce Young is a franchise quarterback. I do think C.J. Stroud is. And that's regardless where they're drafted. Correct. Now, C.J. Stroud looks a lot different in a Panthers uniform than he does in Houston. So, we're probably talking about C.J. Stroud coming in the season talked about MVP candidate. That would not be happening if he was in Carolina.
Mike Glennon here joining us in studio on The Drive. The other big news for the Panthers is this Deontay Johnson trade, which I've spent a lot of time saying it's not a very good trade. But the maybe only logical explanation for it is this dude is the worst dude. Like, and I'm not saying this. I know this. I don't know Deontay Johnson at all. But trading a guy that's that good a week before the trade deadline, especially based on the production he's had, for essentially 15 picks moving up on day 3 of the NFL draft is confusing to me, unless they're just like, I need this guy gone. I hate him. He's ruining our locker room. He's going to be a bad influence. So without naming names, unless you want to name names, have you seen a locker room quote-unquote cancer that would be worth accepting? Like, hey, let me move up 17 picks on day 3 as the compensation to get this guy out of there?
Yes.
Okay.
The only thing is I've seen those guys get traded for more. So it's like how – and maybe it's because Deontay Johnson has a reputation already. He's been in the league longer. But
because both the Steelers and the Panthers moved on from him for very little compensation.
How do the other – I mean, word travels in the NFL, but how does everyone else know? Like, can you not convince a team to take him? Like, how they don't have to know what's going on in the locker room.
I said that off air yesterday. They should have nominated him for Walter Payton Man of the Year and then tried to trade him just as, like, you know, bluff their way to, like, no, he's actually a changed guy.
Maybe that's just Deontay Johnson's reputation in the league, is that everyone knows he's a kind of a red flag character guy, and
I'm not saying he is the worst guy ever. I'm saying that might be the only way that trade makes sense, is if there's something like that I don't know about that would drive them to accept that trade.
It's like literally anything is better than nothing, even if it's moving up one pick in the draft. That it could be. I just was shocked that they didn't get more, but.
And the Ravens are going to get a free pick out of it with compensation pick. Like, it's not a good trade. It's just, you know, once you get to the point we're at now, which is it's been a couple days, you've kind of run through all the details, you start going, there must be something else here, and that's your imagination.
I think that's the only thing you can point to as why, because otherwise it looks like a bad move on the Panthers' end.
Let's talk state real quick since we have you here. They're coming off the bye, so there's not a lot to react to. What do you hope to see against Stanford at home this week?
I want to see C.J. Bailey and this offense pick up where they left off at Cal. And I think that Stanford clearly is not the program they were in the past decade, and it should be a good showing for NC State. So, you know, we've had some of these games against, you know, Wake Forest, against Syracuse, where you think you can win. Now it's like, let's go, let's do it. And I think C.J. Bailey's going to come out and build on what he's been doing, and I'm excited to see what this offense looks like.
I definitely think Syracuse, and I probably think Wake Forest, because they just beat them, are better than Stanford. So this one, again, you're what, 2 games away from bowl eligibility. Stanford,
this one matters.
Stanford is the one that goes like, let's get this one and then worry about finding one on the next 3. So it's an important game. It's noon. It's home, which they were on the road in Cal. Then they had the bye, so it's been a while since they've been in front of Wolfpack Nation. I assume you'll be there, right?
I'm planning on it.
All right. Well, if anyone's out there, again, say what's up to our guy, Mike. Happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Halloween, Mike.
Happy Halloween, Tim.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Again, that's Mike Glennon. If you want more state, I know we touched on NC State football right at the end. We do a whole podcast on it. So if you just that wets your whistle and you would like a little bit more of the NC State insight from Mike, check it out. Pack Therapy, the podcast. It's found everywhere podcasts can be found, including our YouTube page, 99.9 The Fan. While you're there, subscribe, because a bunch of podcasts live there. Dennis and Chris Lee host Panthers Playbook. There's Pack Therapy. There's the highlights from this show, Adam Gold Show. We do a
Cane's
whole bunch.
Corner.
Cane's Corner, obviously. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on at our YouTube channel, and we want you to be a part of it. Don't want you to miss out on anything. So 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. We'll take a break. When we come back, starting 5. And it's a doozy for a Thursday. I think it's a good starting 5, including a World Series champ. Stick around.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Beautiful passing by the Carolina Hurricanes, and Burns Tarasovic, and it's 3-1 here in Vancouver.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Back to Slavin. He shot right on. Rebounds out in front. Chance up front. They score! Here come the Hats!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan.
All I wanna know is, can I get hot and spicy patty, the McNuggets so crisp, and the fries go to yellow, yeah, McDonald's don't miss, yeah. Order app or the drive-thru quick, yeah. $5, that's some deal, yeah. I got McDonald's money.
At participating McDonald's.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She was the deciding vote for his disastrous economic agenda. Kamala and Joe raised taxes on the middle class, and prices soared. Kamala was in charge of his open border policies, giving welfare to illegals while Americans struggle, and their weakness invited wars. Now Kamala wants to double down on failure. It's time to turn the page on Joe and Kamala's failed agenda. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower and the border secure. Now, President Trump can do it again.
And we are going to launch a new golden age of American success for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Remember, Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald Trump, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Donald J. Trump for President 2024 Inc.
The NBA is finally back. A new season means new ways to get into the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Who's draining threes from beyond the arc? Who's crashing the boards and grabbing the rebounds? Get behind your favorite players and the prop bets you can make on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. First time? New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Every point counts with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD, that's code TIMD with no spaces, for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Halloween. We've had another warm day, and it stays warm for trick-or-treaters this evening. Temperatures likely to be in the 60s and 70s for the spooky hours. 62 by daybreak, partly cloudy, still warm and breezy Friday. The high around 83.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell down 378 points to 41,763.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan on Halloween. It's 5 o'clock. It's getting darker outside as I have to look through a few windows here out of the studio. getting darker, which means there's probably kids out there running around. I try to do this on radio on Halloween. Sometimes I don't remember. But if you're driving around, just eyes peeled, right? You never know which kid is going to be just in a Darth Vader costume or something, which is pretty much just camouflage with the night. Just dark. So keep your eyes peeled, drive a little bit slower. Kids want candy, and they're not really usually thinking about looking both ways. On the flip side, if you're out there with a kid...
I want candy.
On the flip side, if you're out there with a kid, make sure you are looking both ways. You know what I mean?
That is also a good idea.
Both sides. Just saying, be safe. We don't want any tragedy. We want everybody having candy, getting hopped up on sugar, and having a good time. Now let's hit the starting five, starting with number 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. And the Dodgers are World Series champions.
The Dodgers are World Series champions. And who out there says, who amongst us doesn't say money can't buy happiness?
I guess.
Not only did the Dodgers spend like $1 billion this offseason, they deferred like $700 million of it. So they're spending money like that future them has to deal with to get a title this year. And in a bummer kind of fashion, it worked. Like that title that the Dodgers just won, it can't be won by 28 of the Major League Baseball franchises. It's just I always say the NFL is a copycat league. So like if the Chiefs, run or actually we saw with the Dolphins. The Dolphins ran that little half motion, right? And they had a ton of success with their offense with Tyreek Hill just getting off of press and running full speed right at the snap of the ball. And what happened next? This year, everybody has a few plays with those little half motions. There's really nothing the Dodgers did that like the Milwaukee Brewers could look at and go, oh, look, that's how they won. They were ahead of us. Let's adapt and do that. You just can't. It's like, hey, you know what? Let's go, I don't know, get Shohei and Mookie Betts from 2 other big market teams that couldn't pay as much as we could.
Yeah, let's trade for Betts a few years ago, and then let's just sign Shohei, who's just the biggest name in baseball.
Why? And there you go, right? Milwaukee sitting there like, why didn't we think of that?
Oh, that's the secret sauce?
Gosh, we should have thought of that. That's what we should have done. We should have thought of that. It's a tough place to be. And I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. I'm just saying it's not the most fun. There won't be a Disney story about this Dodgers team.
No, that's fine. But here's the thing, though, is that it doesn't work that often. Like, we really think about it, because last year was the Texas Rangers beat the Arizona Diamondbacks last year.
Texas spends money.
Yeah, but they didn't have the biggest payroll. I mean, Houston Astros don't have the biggest payroll. They beat the Phillies a couple years ago, and they cheated to do so. But we saw the Tampa Bay Rays make it back in 2020.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying every World Series is that way. I'm saying this World Series,
but this one is
that way. And it's I don't love it. And by the way, I don't love salary caps either, because I feel like that just artificially makes players not able to earn what they're worth towards winning. But at the same time, I don't like this. So I'm being like a real tough to please person right now. I want there to be able to spend as much as you possibly can, and I want the teams that don't spend as much as you possibly can to win. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah.
And that's coming from a Mets fan, and they do. I'll forget all of this if they have the highest payroll next year and win it all.
And they sign Juan Soto. You're like, spend all you need.
Defer it all. I don't care. Win a title. So I'm sure Dodger fans feel that way. But it was a really fun game. It was not well played for much of it, but it was a really fun game. Dodgers win. They came back from 5-zip. They had the intestinal fortitude. So a couple unbelievable pitching performances. Walker Buehler coming off one day rest, and he's been hurt for the last however many years. That was cool. One thing I want to point out, because I don't think he's an extremely likable guy, but I was wildly impressed. Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
First of all, contributed to a horrendous inning. They were the what was it, the 3rd inning, 4th inning, 5th inning, something.
When the Dodgers scored 5 runs?
Yes.
I think it was the top of the 5th.
And they should have scored none.
6th.
Aaron Judge dropped a 1 out of 1,000 error, like just weird. Then the shortstop Volpe with a weird like short arm throw trying to get the guy at third. Then Garrett Cole doesn't cover first. Ground ball to first base. The pitcher's just walking off, and Rizzo goes to flip it to him, and there's just no one there. Safe. All these runs come around because of that. And my first thought was they're going to have to get Garrett out of there because, that last mental error was just a mental error from him. He stuck in and pitched great for like a while. And I want to talk to him just so I can say, how? What kind of sports psychologist are you working with that has you so machine locked in that you can watch potentially a chance at a World Series squander on your mental error and then like 15 minutes later, locked in, no distractions, tunnel vision? Unbelievable. They still didn't win, though. Shout out to the Dodgers. They took advantage of it and won.
First time ever. Think of all the firsts that ever in baseball history. We had the first ever walk-off grand slam in a World Series game back in Game 1. First one ever. And yesterday was the first time a team came down from 5 runs to win a World Series clinching game. First time ever.
There's a lot of
baseball. The first World
games.
Series was what, 1903?
I don't know.
It's been a while.
I have to find out, though, now. When was the first World Series? 1903. Look at you.
Nailed it.
The Boston Americans defeated the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Now look at that.
Pirates were getting beat even in 1903.
Hey.
At least they made it.
Like I said, at least they did.
That's better than current. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Seeing ghosts.
That's appropriate. It's Halloween.
Exactly.
And we're about to talk about the NFL, kind of latest NFL news. And that was Sam Darnold a handful of years ago saying, I'm seeing ghosts. Texans, Jets tonight, Thursday night football. You ready for a real crazy one?
Yeah.
Texans, 6-2. Lead their division. CJ Stroud, everybody's soup du jour. Like he's one of the it players in the league right now. Jets, 2-6. Aaron Rodgers, everybody thinks he's washed. Not in first in their division, to put it lightly. Just had to put Allen Lazard on IR this afternoon. Who do you think's favored in this game? The Jets are 2.5-point favorites over the Texans. What does Vegas know that we don't? They are inviting us. This is what I call a stinker, a smelly pick, a smelly line. Vegas is so obviously with neon signs, get it, Vegas, pointing at the Texans saying, bet on them. They're 6-2. Maybe they think Stephon Diggs was like the most important guy on the planet because now that he's not there, they aren't what they could be. But, the Jets are favored in this? How do you not take the Texans? And then everybody is going to take the Texans. Why does Vegas want us to take the Texans?
A little smells fishy here.
It smells fishy. Little spooky line on a Halloween. Anything of specific from Panthers practice updates that you want to pass along to us, Dennis Cox?
A couple things to keep in mind is that guys like Jonathan Brooks, who are still on their 21-day window, back practicing again as a full participant for the second straight day. That's a good thing, the rookie running back out of Texas. Also, guys to keep in mind, Ike Ekwonu. Ankle injury, did not practice again for the second straight day. He suffered that ankle injury back on Sunday against the Denver Broncos. But some other guys that we, again, might see coming off of injured reserve or physically unable to perform list or whatever it might be. DJ Wanham, a full participant for the second straight practice again. Jordan Fuller, who's on injured reserve, full practice for the second straight day again, which is a good sign. Adam Thielen, limited for the second straight day, but again, still out there working. And also Jaden Crumedy, who has been on injured reserve since the beginning of the year, the rookie out of Mississippi State, the 6th-round pick, full participant for the second straight day as well. We might see one or more of these guys this Sunday at Bank of America.
What I will say is I think Jonathan Brooks is the one most people are most excited for.
Yes.
Second-round pick, running back
Absolutely.
out of Texas. First running back taken, if I'm not
He
mistaken.
was. Pick 46.
Traded down, then traded up to get him. Even if he plays, don't expect 13 carries, 87 yards and 4 catches. If he gives you 10 plays, 2 carries, and looks good and emerges healthy, I think that's more what to expect. You're still going to get a healthy dose of Chuba, at least for the first game or two. Then, you ramp it up based on how well he reacts and performs. But it is sometimes like a hurry up to wait with guys off of knee injuries. You're like, yeah, come back, yeah, come back, yeah, come back to he's back, he's playing, and then you're waiting again. It's like a line at Disney. All right, we're in the room. Okay, we're snaking through the line. Ooh, we're in a new room. Oh, this room is just more lines. All right, we're snaking through. Oh, I can see the line. Oh, we're just still waiting. There's a lot of that going on in the NFL. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Tario's going to reverse it and now flip it back to Harrell. He's going to try a deep ball. Wide open, waiting for it, and making the catch at the 9 is Hamilton, and he'll ride a Charlotte defender in for the touchdown.
That's a UNC football highlight. We're kind of talking about UNC athletics here.
Yeah.
We're also kind of talking about getting rowdy in the stands.
Oh, there's that.
UNC has expanded their alcohol sales to the Dean Smith Center.
Oh, look at that.
Beer and wine available at the Smith Center. You know what the joke's going to be.
Oh, of course.
The wine and cheese crowd now gets actual wine. Are they going to sell a charcuterie board at the concession stands?
Hey, you know what? Wouldn't hate that, right?
I actually like a well-designed charcuterie board.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not against it. Obviously, just jokes there. But this goes back to something I've been saying forever. For a century, schools, athletic programs, they operated with like no need to operate as a business, right? They just, hey, we want new facilities. What would they do? They would just go ask donors and boosters and fans for donations. They'd give them a brick with their name on it and say, all right, we now have this awesome football, basketball, whatever facility, weight room, because you guys gave us money. Now that they want that money to go to players, because you can pay NIL deals, the team has to actually work, the school, the athletic program has to actually work as a business. Do you realize how much money over like a century of college athletics you just chose not to make by not having beer available at sporting events?
Some of that was state law.
Which?
Because of public schools, yeah.
Surprise, those laws are now, we can work around them. It's unbelievable. And it's the same thing, right? All of a sudden, there's more advertisers or there's more partnerships. It's the teams are less likely to pay out $50-60 million in buyouts for coaches because it's like we're going to have to raise that money and we'd rather have the boosters paying the players than you have to operate as a business. You have to. Look around for money. You can run out with USC. Do you see this? You can run out of the tunnel with USC, not South Carolina, Southern Cal. It's like, I don't know, $1,800. You can, and you're running out with them, and yay. And when USC played, I think it was Penn State, a Penn State fan paid the $1,600 and just ran out with USC in all Penn State gear.
That's funny.
And people,
props to him.
People are acting like the Penn State guy won. I'm going, USC just got $1,600 that should have gone to Penn State, and all they had to do was let you jog next to them. You really got them. Like, way to go. It's all about making money. The experiences, it's all about money. It's kind of what sports has become, and you could have been doing it all along.
I was trying to remember. I don't think UNC has a branded beer. Like NC State has Old Toffee. There's Mountain Brew for App. I know there's Pirate Brew with ECU. I can't remember. I was trying to look it up. I was like, I don't think UNC has like a branded beer.
Just off the top of my head?
Yeah.
Tar Ale?
Is there?
No, I'm saying this all. I'm
Tar Ale.
Naming
there
it.
It is.
Tar Ale.
It's a crisp IPA.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
I'm not an IPA fan, but sure, hey, make it work.
Again, the joke would be they don't have an ale; they have a Chardonnay.
There you go. Have a spirit or something.
Hey, there we go.
But you know what? But that's something that might be the next step for North Carolina is to have that branded. Like, hey, let's have a licensing agreement. That's a way you can make money off of that as well.
Money.
Hey, like Canes have Storm Brew. We're seeing this all over the place. There's no reason why UNC
ECU has one.
ECU. There's Mountain Brew for App.
Look at you. You know them all.
Yeah.
I get the press releases when they come out. That was what, number 3? Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. A retort pass, Euro step, bucket, righty. Finger roll is in for pass. Down the right lane line, 4 minutes to play. Pack leads by 2.
Lees McRae is a Division II basketball team who I actually want to give them credit here. I believe it's their official Twitter account, Lees McRae, Division II basketball in Banner Elk. Their official handle is at Dunk Mountain. Remember, Dunk City was Florida Gulf Coast. They're obviously trying to brand something. They are at Dunk Mountain on Twitter. NC State almost lost to Dunk Mountain last night in an exhibition game. The Final Four team from last year, the ACC reigning men's basketball champion, was tied with Lees McRae, Dunk Mountain, with 3 minutes to go in their exhibition game last night. They ended up winning by 4. NC State did. Kevin Keats, the head coach of NC State, told the media after the game he would rather have a close game like the one they did against Lees McRae than a 40-point blowout. Here it is in Coach Keats' own words.
I think we can learn a lot from our secret scrimmage. We can also learn a lot from our last 20 minutes. Okay, I thought we did a really good job in our first 20 minutes. Second half, I started big guys against small guys, and we came out and we turned the ball over 3 straight times. It's a lot that we can learn from this. It's crazy as this sounds. I would much rather have this game than have a 40-point win because I don't get a chance to see guys be able to react and who's going to make free throws and who's going to be good at the end.
Yeah, I guess. I think this is an ultimate spin zone. But if you acknowledge that the first however many minutes was like a big dark cloud that you wish didn't happen as an ACC team playing against a Division II team, I guess you could argue that big dark cloud does have a small silver lining, which is most teams in their exhibition game against Division II teams don't get crunch time experience. They don't get to see who handles the ball well in the last minutes. They don't get to see who I guess makes the free throws or whatever it is. So there's a small silver lining there, but I think you're stretching you're doing some pretty good mental gymnastics if you're trying to fit yourself all the way into that kind of corner of the argument. Also, I did see this, and this is just passing some information along. Did see some on social media thinking that the ACC refs may have had a little bit of a friendly whistle there, which honestly, in an exhibition game, if I were NC State, yeah, you know what? Give us the save us if it's looking like it. If they start raining threes, man, foot on the line. NC State did win though, and I said this earlier. There's a big difference in these situations between almost lost and actually lost. One, huge catastrophe. Another, something to pay attention to. But that is 2 different levels. They didn't actually lose. They just came close to losing, which is different. You may say it's not, but it is. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
The one! Natchez heads into the Vancouver zone. Natchez. He'll leave it for Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere finds Aho! He scores! In overtime! Sebastian Aho! His 57th career game winner!
That's a little highlight from the Carolina Hurricanes.
Hockey night in Carolina. We're actually back home, Tim.
It is.
We're actually back home.
A hockey night in Carolina that's actually in Carolina. We call it a hockey night in Carolina even when they're in Seattle. But when they're in Carolina, it's a little bit extra gusto for the hockey night in Carolina. Shout out to the Canes. They are on a nice little win streak on their road trip that they're now bringing home. I talked about this earlier. I think it's going to be an electric atmosphere. I think, and I have some reasons here for it. One, it's your first home game in over 2 weeks. So for the team, you want to, show the home fans what you got. For the home fans, you've been, yelling at your TV screen for the last 2 weeks at like 1 o'clock in the morning, rather than actually at the game, yelling at the players at 7 o'clock at night, much more normal time. Boston, I mean, they won a playoff series last season. This is a team you should get up for. I know they've started a little slower than they want, but there's still Boston Bruins in there somewhere. 3, it's Halloween. Sporting events, they just get a little extra juice in Halloween. I don't know why, because it's Halloween and everybody gets a little extra juice. Have I told the story of Halloween at Towson yet?
I don't think you have.
All right, I'll tell that story in a second. The other is the Canes have won 4 straight games, including 2 overtime games, with Sebastian Aho scoring in the last minute of overtime.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to get your adrenaline pumping a little bit. And then this one could just be me, but maybe it's more. Marchand is on the other side.
Brad Marchand? Yeah.
I mean, that's going to get everybody a little jacked up, right? Electric atmosphere.
The rat himself.
I said I was going to do this earlier this season. I'm going to put Dennis on the spot.
All right.
One of the things I'm tracking throughout the season for the Canes is I want the Stars to play well in kind of elevated games, right?
Okay.
Slightly bigger games. You play a Wednesday night, a Tuesday night against San Jose. Role players go nuts. But to simulate the postseason, look for the elevateds, look for the prime times, look for the rivalries, look for the games that have some artificial factor that makes it feel bigger. Scale of 1 to 10. How big is this game? For all the reasons I talked about, home game, win streak, Boston, is this an elevated game, or would you call this run-of-the-mill Thursday night October game?
Scale 1 to 10, 10 being the most intense?
Yeah, 10
like
being
playoff-style atmosphere?
10 being you're playing the Rangers for the division. It has to be a regular season game. This is 1 out of 10 regular season game.
I'll give it a solid 7.
Okay, so
yeah, give it a solid 7.
So in that case, I want Stars to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I want Seth Jarvis. I want Svech. I want Aho. I want Slavin to do something. I want Piotr to chill. I want the Stars to do something in this one because I think it's important they play better in the big games. By the way, Piotr is in and Freddie Anderson is out he's week to week.
Week to week is what Rob Brittamore said earlier today. Lower body injury. He says, yeah, it's a little bit more to it than they initially maybe had thought. So again, week to week. But hey, Piotr, you're net, young man.
Matter of fact, we have a bit of sound here from Rod Brindamore. I'm basically saying it could be a chance for Piotr to get a run of starts rather than doing the alternating thing.
That's how it's going to shake out here, obviously, unfortunately. But I think, like you said, I think he really wants that. And so, we'll see how it all works out here. But he's more than likely going to get a good run at it.
Yeah, good run at it. How about we say good, stay back at it. Tell that guy not to run. But all right, quickly here, just because I teased it and I want to pay that off.
Okay.
So when I was playing in college, football for the University of Delaware, one of our rivals was actually Towson at the time. They were very good.
Mm-hmm.
They had Terrence West, the running back who ended up playing for the Ravens, bounced around the NFL for a while. Very, very good. We had an All-American running back, so it was a hard-fought game. It was on Halloween, so it was Halloween day, and it was, I want to say, snowing a little bit. It was just a really cool game. We were at Towson.
Okay, yeah, right, just north of Baltimore for those who don't know.
Yes. So I'm out there. I'm the quarterback at the time, and during an extended TV timeout, they do a massive Halloween, because everyone there, the whole student section was dressed as Halloween, and they picked 4 of them and brought them down and they gave away, I think it was $1,000 of I don't know, bookstore money or something to whoever had the best costume. Yeah, it was to the point where we're in a timeout and we're kind of watching going that's a lot of money. And we're ineligible to get any of that pre-NIL days. And there was Gumby in a big elaborate Gumby costume was 10 yards behind me. And we're talking, and the coach kind of, it's a long TV timeout, so the huddle kind of breaks, and I'm talking to one of my wide receivers, and Gumby walks over and just taps me on the shoulder and keeps walking. And the whole crowd starts laughing, right? Because Gumby just tapped the quarterback on the shoulder, and I turned around, and I was like, oh, who was that? Right? Kind of like the gotcha thing where you reach your arm around somebody, tap them on the shoulder, and when they turn, you're like, ha, ha, ha. So Gumby did that to me during a timeout. Whole student section laughs. Gumby ends up winning. Okay, Gumby gets the whatever the prize was. That summer, okay, so by the way, we win the game. Shout out. Ran for a touchdown that game, threw for another. We go win the game. season plays out. That summer, I go back to my where I went to high school, hanging out with my high school buddies. I'll never forget, Chuck from high school comes up to me. Hadn't talked to Chuck in probably since I graduated high school. And he goes, guess what? I said, what? He goes, I was Gumby. I was like, not even connecting that was a thing. I was like, what do you mean you were, Chuck, what are you saying? What do you mean you were Gumby? He was like, on the field at Towson, I was Gumby. I was like, you tapped me on the shoulder and everyone was laughing at me? He claims, this was how the story was told to me, he claims I wanted to go up to you and say hi. And then as I tapped you on the shoulder, because like I knew you, but as I tapped you on the shoulder, I recognized, oh, I like you can't see my face, and I doubt you're going to recognize my voice. So as you turned, I was just kind of like, and I panicked and left, and then everybody laughed, and I won the money. So then I couldn't go up to you because then it was like I didn't want anybody to know I knew the quarterback. And I was like, well, thanks for making me look like a fool for about 30 seconds in front of your whole student section. And I was like, I hope you enjoyed, the prize. And he was like, it was a big prize. I was like, I know, dude. I was there the whole time. So it's your own friends that get you. But it was a really fun game, and like I said, we got the last laugh, even if Gumby got me for a second. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Speaking of prizes,
we have the numbers game, and the winner will win a pair of tickets to see Nick Swartzen at Carolina Theater on November 8th. If you want to play the numbers game, you have to call in now, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. 26 numbers game. We need 2 contestants. Call in. Next.
The Adam Gold Show.
So I want to congratulate the Carolina Panthers for trading Deontay Johnson just so they could take the exact same player in next year's draft 12 spots earlier. The difference between the first pick in the 6th round and the 30th pick in the 5th round are nothing. And you'll get the exact same player just earlier.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over, and if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So, no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She was the deciding vote for his disastrous economic agenda. Kamala and Joe raised taxes on the middle class, and prices soared. Kamala was in charge of his open border policies, giving welfare to illegals while Americans struggle, and their weakness invited wars. Now Kamala wants to double down on failure. It's time to turn the page on Joe and Kamala's failed agenda. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower and the border secure. Now, President Trump can do it again.
And we are going to launch a new golden age of American success for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Remember, Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald Trump, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Donald J. Trump for President 2024 Inc.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You're in luck. If you didn't think you could get through for the numbers game, the phone lines just opened back up. So call back in. 919-860-5326. That goes for all of you. 919-860-5326. Call in for the numbers game right now. You can win yourself some tickets to see Nick Swartzen at the Carolina Theater on November 8th and all of the glory and pats on the back that come with being a numbers game winner. The question we planned on asking to whichever contestant, to decide who would get to go first out of the two contestants was, what's your favorite Halloween candy? So, in that case, we already know you said Reese's. Your
Reese's Cups.
How do you pronounce it?
Reese's.
Are you a Reese's or a Reese's?
Reese's.
So you're grammatically correct. It is some person named Reese's. I have to be honest. I actually get very annoyed when we have these kind of like ranking conversations. My wife is somebody that ranks everything, and you'll go to the park, and as you're leaving, she's like, "So what was the favorite thing we did at the park?" I don't normally rank things like that, so I'm not. I think it changes for what candy is the best. But today I'm feeling Skittles. Actually, I haven't liked Skittles in a long time. I don't know why I said that. Today I'm liking Sprees. Remember Sprees? I like Sprees. We'll go with those. We do have at least one caller on the line now. You can continue calling in, 919-860-5326, to battle it out for who gets to be the second contestant. But Lewis and Clayton gets to be the first contestant. Lewis and Clayton, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, we were gonna ask it anyway, so you'll have to answer this one. What's your favorite Halloween candy?
Candy corn.
You are a candy corn liker. You are a pro candy corn.
Yes.
All right. Are you like, do you have to defend candy corn often because people are always talking trash about it?
No, not really. I mean, I'm an older guy. I'm like almost 60.
All right. I mean,
I've been left.
I don't mind
for a long time.
I don't mind it. It's just not one of my favorites. Some people really don't like it. All right, are you ready to jump in? You ready to pick your category?
Yeah, sure.
All right. NFL, hey, I'm on the TV. These are all players that went on to be media members. NFL, we're also on TV. These are more players that went on to become media members. Baseball, current Dodgers and Yankees only in honor of the World Series. Or NHL, Canes and Whalers only.
All right, baseball, current Dodgers and Yankees.
All right, baseball, current Dodgers and Yankees only. I'll give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Freddie Freeman, Los Angeles Dodgers.
5.
Correct. Aaron Judge, New York Yankees.
99.
Correct. Mookie Betts, Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh, man. 13. I'm just
Incorrect. Garrett Cole, New York Yankees.
45.
Correct. Jack Flaherty, Los Angeles Dodgers.
13.
Incorrect. Mookie Betts, Los Angeles Dodgers.
50.
Correct. Jack Flaherty, Los Angeles Dodgers.
24.
Incorrect. Jack Flaherty lost. That's a tough one. Baseball, I don't think of this number. Flaherty's number 0 for the Dodgers.
Oh, wow.
I'm just starting to get used to that in the NBA and NFL. I didn't even know it was a thing in baseball. But you did get 4. That is a very solid number. We're going to see if it holds up, okay, because we did get another contestant while that was going on. So stay on the line, and we'll let you know. That brings us to TJ and Raleigh. TJ, you are the next contestant. You ready to roll?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, the categories that you get to choose from are, remaining for you, NFL, hey, I'm on TV, NFL, we're also on TV, or NHL, Canes and Whalers only.
NFL, hey, I'm on TV.
All right. These are all players that have gone on to media careers. I will give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. You need 5 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
No questions. Let's go.
Let's go. I like it. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Tom Brady, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
12.
Correct. Tony Romo, Dallas Cowboys.
9.
Correct. J.J. Watt, Houston Texans.
99.
Correct. Chris Collinsworth, Cincinnati Bengals.
99.
Incorrect. David Carr, Houston Texans.
9.
Incorrect. Chris Collinsworth, Cincinnati Bengals.
Pass.
That's the only ones we got. David Carr, Houston Texans.
3.
Incorrect. Chris Collinsworth, Cincinnati Bengals.
87.
Incorrect. David Carr, Houston Texans.
8.
Correct. Chris Collinsworth, so close.
Oh, my.
Collinsworth with the Bengals. He was wide receiver. He wore number 80. You were getting closer.
Oh, my.
You did get 4. Unfortunately, tie goes to who goes first. So next time, call in earlier, and it might have been your win. Still, though, that was fun. Hopefully you had a good time.
Yeah, I did. Appreciate it.
Real quickly before you go, favorite candy?
Favorite candy, we're going to have to say Snickers almond.
Snickers almond, specific. I like it. Again, thanks for playing, and good luck next time.
All right, thank you.
That brings us to Lewis and Clayton. Lewis, hopefully you get some candy corn to celebrate with because you're going to go see Nick Swartzen at Carolina Theater on November 8th.
Actually, I'm on my way to work.
Oh, well. In that case, hopefully you have a good run at work today, and at least you started off with a win.
All right.
All right, go ahead and stay on the line. Dennis will get some info he needs from you, but you are the winner. How about that?
4-4. Whew, that was a tight one.
That was. I like the categories, too. Shout out to Paul Eihander, our program director, who puts those together most days. A little custom on the rundowns today for the numbers game. We'll do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow will be your last day to win the Nick Swartzen tickets, but we do that every day here on The Drive at about 5:30. We play some numbers game and let everybody get their chance to win, or at least 2 of you per day. Bookmark the number so you can, you just saw somebody lose because they weren't first to call in. 919-860-5326. It's the Heister Automotive Group hotline, and that's what you call in for the numbers game. 919-860-5326. Bookmark it now so you'll be fast in the future. It is a hockey night in Carolina. We do have the Carolina Hurricanes against the Boston Bruins right here on 99.9 The Fan tonight at 7 o'clock for the puck drop, which means Adam Golden Stormwatch will get you set with the pregame show at 6:30. But I have some thoughts on the 4-game homestand coming up for the Canes and what it means for the rest of their season. Stick around. That is coming up next.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Beautiful passing by the Carolina Hurricanes, and Burns to Roslovic, and it's 3-1 here in Vancouver.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Back to Slavin, he shot right on, rebounds out in front, chance up front, they score! Here come the Hats!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you right now. You can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
If you're like most Americans, you have a ton of credit card debt, and you're paying insane interest rates on that debt every month. Same for car loans and personal loans. Stop getting ripped off. Let Loan Pronto consolidate that debt for you at a significantly lower rate using the equity in your home. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Express Equity line of credit can get you up to $500,000 so you can consolidate your debt in as fast as 5 days. Their average client saves over $1,000 every month by doing this. Right now is the best time to act. With an Express Equity line of credit, you can access up to 90% of your home's equity, usually without an appraisal. Don't put it off. Get your financial house in order for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now to see what you can save. It's a free quote, and there's no credit pull, unlike those other guys. Call now, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text STAPLE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text STAPLE to 321-321. That's STAPLE to 321-321.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. I'm not sure if everybody else could hear that. I was confused. I was just saying our intro over and over again. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here we go. Little spooky stuff going on around here, as it should on Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone, by the way. The Canes are at home versus the Bruins tonight. This is an interesting point in their schedule. Rod Brindamore, obviously, has to be pleased with the way they played on their road trip. They won 5 of 6 games. They toured the country and Canada. They were out of town for just about 2 weeks, and now they're back home tonight for the first time in over 2 weeks. Rod Brindamore was asked if he learned anything about his team on that early season extended road trip.
I don't know if I learned much. I mean, I was happy with the way the group came together and played hard every night. Like, that was a real consistent game. Had stretches in there where the other team got going, but really, I thought 60-minute efforts were there the whole time, and certainly the newer additions I thought really contributed well and stepped in almost seamlessly, which I guess maybe, I don't know if you learned anything about it. We kind of knew that what we were getting, but it was nice to see them, everyone contributing.
Some of you might remember, if not, I'll refresh you. Before the road trip, at the beginning of the road trip, right? Because the State Fair comes to town. They have to get out of town for 2 weeks. At the beginning of the road trip, I said that the road trip kind of was going to act like training camp in a football movie, right? Like the Junction Boys or Remember the Titans, where it's like All right, everybody. We're going to go bond as a team on the road, get away from all distractions. We're going to work hard. We're going to only have each other to spend time with. We're going to go, and we're going to come back a more cohesive unit. And I think that kind of happened. They went out. They played well. They had, funny little inside jokes. Hey, remember that time after the game we ate McDonald's? Yuck, 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 yuck. Right? They went on to have some good experiences. Remember Sebastian Aho's overtime goal? Hey, Jackson Blake, remember you did all of that happened. So if we take that the next step, right? If we say this road trip was like the team going to Gettysburg and Remember the Titans. I went and looked it up. Remember Blue from Remember the Titans? Blue was the one who Louis Lastic said wears leopard spotted underwear, bikini style, sir. He was also the one that was the singer. Always got the Ain't No Mountain High Enough started. Blue, and Remember the Titans, said it best in a players-only meeting that came in the gym after training camp. Right? So they come back. Now they're back with the distractions. Obviously, and Remember the Titans, the racial storylines that were happening at that point in time. But I have the quote here. I looked it up. I'm gonna read it to you. Again, just imagine Blue from Remember the Titans is doing this. Coach Boone brought us this far, y'all, but he ain't going to be there for us forever. I can't even read today. But he ain't going to be there for us forever, man. So what? We won a few games. Y'all fools think that's something? Man, that ain't nothing, y'all. And you know what else? We ain't nothing either. Yeah, we came together in camp. Cool. But then we right back here, and the world tells us that they don't want us to be together. We fall apart like we ain't a darn bit of nothing, man. Y'all think we done something. Man, we ain't won nothing, y'all. Nothing. And scene. That was me performing as Blue from Remember the Titans. Basically, what I was trying to prove there is you could take that full quote and put it into Kane's terms. Coach Brindamore brought us here. But he's not going to be there for us forever. We won a few games. We're on a 4-game win streak, 5 out of 6. We won a few games. You think that's something? That ain't nothing. We ain't nothing either, y'all. I can't pull off the lingo. Came together at camp, which would be came together on that road trip. Cool. Then we come right back here, and the distractions are back. Y'all thought we won something? We haven't won nothing. And part of that is kind of true. The Canes haven't won anything yet. They've been playing well. They won a couple of games. That's nothing in the scheme of things. It does make it feel like, all right, and I said this, it makes it feel like, all right, the Canes are still the Canes, right? They just because Pesci and Shea is gone doesn't mean the blue line's going to regress completely. Like, they still played well. They scored on power plays. The players you need to have highlight plays had highlight plays. But if it doesn't continue, then that's just a funny storyline at the beginning of a long season. If you don't build off of what you did on the road trip, just something that's going to be a footnote. Hey, remember when they went 5-1 early in the year? You have Boston, Washington, Philly, and Pittsburgh at home today, then Sunday, then the following Tuesday, then the following Thursday. Now, I'm not naive enough to just go like, you won your last 4, you should win them all. But there are certain things that they need to build on. There are certain things that they need to continue and continue to improve on. Pyotr Kochekhov's in net tonight.
He is.
It's the first time this year that a goalie will play back-to-back games, and it's because Freddie Anderson is out with a lower body injury. It was announced earlier today. They're calling it week-to-week. That's how that is. If I'm Pyotr Kochetkov, or if I'm a Carolina Hurricane and I'm buddies with Pyotr Kochetkov, there's some things he needs to do better. Sure, we rallied behind Pyotr when he made a egregious mistake in the third period last game, and we found a way to win that game in overtime anyway, even though he gave up the goal that tied it. That doesn't mean anything if he goes back and does it again today, right? Now you have to eliminate that mistake so you don't have to bail him out. There were times where, for as well as he's played. Roslovic has had some bad turnovers that have really set up the opposing team for some really, really good chances. We love that you're scoring. Got to eliminate those mistakes, right? Love that everybody's had each other's backs, but if you're not continuing to build off it, it's just a good road trip. It's kind of an extended version of Dennis's saying, anyone can have a good moment. It's like anyone can have a good road trip. Takes a really good team to have a good and or great season. Mm-hmm. And that's what you're trying to do. You're building yourself margin of error. The better you play earlier, the less pressure you're going to have on yourself at the end of the season to make the playoffs, to play for seeding, to get into competitive division races. You have to find a way to continue winning. Martin Necas. I think he might be the perfect example. Martin Necas has been on fire. Right, last, 10, 11, 12 days, he's got a bunch of multi-point games. He had 2 game-winning goals. He's got assists. He's got goals. He's got power play. He's got a little bit of everything. And let's not make any bones about it. Part of what Martin Necas is playing for this year is a fat stack of cash that might be available for him this offseason. I don't know how your agent works, Martin Necas, but I don't know how much you're going to get paid this offseason for, hey, remember that really, really on fire 2 weeks he had on the road back in before Halloween? But I'll tell you what will get you paid. Remember that whole season that I started with a super high level of play at the beginning of the year? And although I had a few dips, I mostly played at that super high level all season. That's where Eric Tulsky is going to be forced to open up the purse strings a little bit for you. Dive into the checkbook, write a big fat check. This homestand is about continuing, right? This homestand is about strengthening your strengths. If you're able to do it on the road against good teams, by the way, Vancouver, good team. Edmonton, good team. Seattle, good team. If you're able to do it on the road against those teams, should be able to do it at home versus Washington on Sunday.
Yeah.
Right? It's not, now you've shown us you can do it. Expectations are higher.
Now you're actually going to face some divisional opponents coming up here soon. Boston's not, but like you mentioned, Philly, Washington, Pittsburgh all coming up next.
You did start the road trip at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but you have a string of actual divisional games coming up. I think 4-game homestand, 8 possible points, get 6. Get 6 of 8.
Now, what is that threshold? Get 6 means big success, or get 6 means acceptable?
I think 6 is acceptable. Like,
yeah.
I 5 would be the
acceptable,
minimum.
6 is like
6
I'm
would be
happy.
like solid.
Anything more than that is
I love it.
I'm clicking my heels walking down the street.
Love it.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. You just heard us doing a little bit of it right there, trying to predict how games will go, predict points. Well, the NBA is finally back, and a new season means new ways to get into the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, which is an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Conversations just like the one we had. Hey, who's going to hit the most threes today? Hey, who's really crashing the boards and getting the rebounds? Who's doing the down and dirty, nitty-gritty stuff? If you have an answer to one of those questions, go ahead and get behind your favorite players or the prop bets you think will hit. You can do that, and you can make those prop bets on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. If it's your first time signing up, perfect. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Every point counts at DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD, and with no spaces. And if you enter that in at sign up, new customers will get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball. That's about going to do it for us here on The Drive. We do have Overdrive coming up next, where we'll start with a reaction to NC State's squeaking a victory in their men's basketball exhibition over a Division II school last night. Before we do take off, though, before we do move on, please, everybody out there, if you're on the road now, if you're driving, look out for trick-or-treaters. It's the sun's starting to set. They're going to be hard to see, but kids are going to be running out there hopped up on sugar. Be safe, drive safe, look both ways before you cross the street.
Real quick, your first goal scorer for the Canes tonight?
Mine is Jackson Blake in the first.
Okay, I have Sebastian Aho in the first. By the way, Andrew in Durham messaged in saying Natchez in the first. And also Maddie on our YouTube chat said Svetch in the first.
Love it. Love it. That's for bragging rights. The official contestants were earlier today. We'll do it again next weekday Canes game. Enjoy Overdrive. Until tomorrow, happy Halloween. Have a great night, everybody.
We're kicking it this fall with college football. Join 99.9 The Fan all